हेलो दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका टफ स्टोरी पॉडकास्ट में। एक ऐसा शो जहां हम मिलते हैं इंस्पायरिंग लीडर्स और प्रोफेशनल से जो अपनी सफलता की कहानियां, चैलेंजेस और लर्निंग्स हमारे साथ शेयर करते हैं। आज के एपिसोड में हमारे साथ है मिस्टर प्रबीर मिश्रा, जो एक फाउंडर है और सीईओ है TRST01 के, एक सस्टेनेबिलिटी और टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनी जो ब्लॉकचेन और वेब 3.0 का यूज करके ट्रांसपेरेंट सप्लाई चेन्स, ESG रिपोर्टिंग और क्लाइमेट एक्शन को डिजिटली ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रही है। प्रबीर जी के पास 2 डिकेड से ज्यादा का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस है जो अक्रॉस मल्टीपल इंडस्ट्रीज, और उनकी जो जर्नी है वो भी काफी अलग अलग इनोवेटिव एरियाज में रही है।
एक बिटकॉइन माइन करने के लिए द एनर्जी यू यूज सिटी का जितना एनर्जी यूज होता है, देयर इज अ प्रोडक्ट कॉल्ड तंदूर दाल। उसमें दाल में 24% प्रोटीन है, जो कि वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं मिलेगा।
So it's very costly.
Why it is costly? 1 kg of tomato seed cost around 20 lakhs rupees.
Huh? What?
12 kgs of carbon footprint is created when we drink a 1 plastic bottle of 1 liter. April में we started the first revenue. So far we have closed around $6.5 million. So ये बन गया ना 60-70 करोड़ 6-8 महीने में।
ये एपिसोड काफी इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है, तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज का टफ स्टोरी।
Welcome to Tough Story. How are you doing?
Thank you, Amit ji. I'm doing fantastic, good.
Glad to hear that. And how are you, Venu? I never ask you that in our podcast.
I'm always good.
So, would like to know more about who you are, what you have done in life. आपने कहाँ से शुरुआत की? मैंने आपके लिंक्डइन में थोड़ा ढूंढा तो मुझे बिहार मिला। आपने कुछ देर पहले मुंबई कहा और अभी आप 2006 से हैदराबाद में हैं। तो what's going on with all India triangle?
Yeah, my journey starting from Rourkela. It's a border to Bihar, Jharkhand. You're right. I'm coming from a very humble family. My father used to work with the Rourkela steel plant.
Okay.
So, born and brought up in Rourkela. Did my education in same place up to graduation. Not sir, no, I'm not an engineer.
Okay.
Again, I'll come to that thing. Okay, I'm running a software company without being an engineer. That's the thing. Yes, मैं physics honors किया Rourkela से. Then I moved to my MBA career. Then I did certain course in IIM Ahmedabad. Yes, 95 में went to Delhi looking for paper cuttings on the advertisement, looking for a job. Landed up in doing a job in Standard Chartered Bank.
Oh wow.
That's the beginning. Delhi was good. 95, 97 तक Delhi was pretty good. Then Delhi pollution, Delhi water make me sick. So
98 में आपको सिक कर दिया?
97, 98 में used to, if you आप अगर बाहर जाओगे without specs or without anything, आँख से पानी आता था।
अभी लोगों को तो अभी भी नहीं आ रहा है।
नहीं
लोग मेरे जो दोस्त हैं दिल्ली में वो चिपके हुए हैं अभी भी।
पागलपन है। उस समय तो ऑटो का कुछ नहीं था। माई ऑफिस वॉज इन संसद मार्ग, तो वहाँ पर चांदनी चौक एक नज़दीक, तो उस टू गो चांदनी चौक खाने के लिए। ऑल दिस क्या बोलते हैं, किरोसिन,
हाँ,
फट सो पोल्यूशन।
अच्छा, उनकी गाड़ियों से जो धुआं आता था उनसे।
उसके बाद पानी इज सो पोल्यूटेड। आई गॉट अफेक्टेड इन जॉन्डिस। देन आई थॉट ऑफ लिविंग दिल्ली, मूव टू कोलकाता। सो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, बट
Why
कोलकाता
Kolkata of all the places?
because job took me. I got a transfer from same.
Oh, okay, you got a transfer.
Standard Chartered का ही
Standard
आपने?
Chartered
Standard
transfer.
okay.
I used to stay in Salt Lake, good, and my office was in Park Street, just on the bank of the metro. So communication, everything was good, but again, Kolkata was not promising. So abhi
In what ways was it not promising?
see the growth, the life. दोपहर पे लोग सोते हैं 3-4 घंटा।
कोलकाता के जगहों के नाम काफ़ी फैंसी है। अभी मैंने आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग पार्क, सॉल्ट लेक,
पार्क स्ट्रीट, दोज आर द ब्रिटिशर्स नेम।
बट दिखने में वैसा नहीं दिखता है वैसे जो मैं सोच रहा हूँ। जैसे
तुम सॉल्ट लेक सिटी यूटा सोच रहे हो क्या?
पार्क सोच रहा हूँ तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ न्यूयॉर्क के मुझे डाउनटाउन समझ में आ रहा है, हाई फाई बिल्डिंग्स है।
पार्क स्ट्रीट इज द मोस्ट हैपनिंग प्लेस, अभी भी है। आई यूज्ड टू गेट गुड चिकन रोल्स and egg rolls, all these things. Park Street was something different, but again, that's the life in Park Street. If you go 95 and now also if I go, you'll find only the difference is the one flyover. All the old building remains same. All the nukkad and the dukan, everything remaining same. So that's the only difference. So Kolkata
वही है जहाँ
वही
था
है जहाँ था.
ट्राम चलता है शहर के बीच
ट्राम
में.
चलता है शहर के बीच में.
Trams are still running?
Yes,
Even now?
yes.
I don't know. I met a few people who mentioned me that they are from Kolkata, Bengali friend, common contact के through. He said कि भाई वहाँ पे ना जो यंगस्टर्स है वो छोड़ के जा रहे हैं. जो पुरानी जनरेशन है जिनका एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी है वो कहीं नहीं जा पाते हैं, वो वहीं रुक गए बिकॉज दे से कि देयर इज नो ग्रोथ इन द सिटी, देयर इज नो लाइफस्टाइल, दे आर मिसिंग आउट द मुंबई दिल्ली कल्चर. दे से कि वी वांट टू एंजॉय म्यूजिक, वी वांट टू सी द कॉन्सर्ट्स, वी वांट टू एंजॉय इन द पब. यहाँ पर कुछ नहीं है, खाओ पियो पड़े रहो. I don't know how much of this is true.
That is true. See, Kolkata life is very easy. People, those who work in government, had some sort of interaction with the government offices, central government or state government. 11 बजे तक कोई नहीं आएगा.
अच्छा सुबह.
सुबह 1 बजे कोई नहीं मिलेगा, लंच में चले गए. 3 बजे 3:30 बजे कुछ मिलेंगे, 4 बजे सब घर चले जाएंगे.
SBI पूरा दिन चल रहा है. माहौल SBI से इंस्पायर्ड है.
हो गया. बट अगेन द गुड थिंग इज दैट कोलकाता में द कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग इज वेरी लो. आई थिंक अभी तो आई थिंक आई मे बी रॉन्ग
It's
बट
a
अगेन
function of progress.
Progress.
Probably.
So-
Cost of living कम है, progress भी कम है.
प्रोग्रेस भी कम है. 50 रुपीज इफ यू गॉट इन योर पॉकेट यू कैन हैव ए साउंड खाना पीना दिन
In today's world also.
in today's world. So that's Kolkata.
Delhi? How do these two cities compare?
Delhi 95 and now there's a hell and heaven difference. So after Kolkata I shifted to Mumbai. So
आप पूरे मेट्रो ही घूम रहे हैं.
मेट्रो ही घूमा.
और उनको सुख मैं गारंटी देता हूँ नॉन मेट्रो में मिलेगा.
उस समय दिल्ली एंड कोलकाता, उस समय आई यूज्ड टू कंपेयर बिटवीन दिल्ली,
course.
कोलकाता एंड मुंबई. आई लव मुंबई because Mumbai means business, not time pass. Okay, and they just understand what you need. That's the foundation. What I would say कि 2000 में when I came to Mumbai, I love that city. Okay, I love that city because my office was near, traffic was low. I used to drive a bike from my home to office in Andheri in 20-25 minutes. But as the career progresses, 2000 to 2008, it become that 25 minutes become 1.5 hours, 2 hours.
The same distance.
Same distance.
आप कितने साल थे दिल्ली में?
8 years.
No, Delhi में I was there just for 95 to 98. Kolkata में 2 years. Then I came to Mumbai in 2008. 2000 to 2008 I was in Delhi. Again, all these things I have run through a lot of jobs. Started with banking products. So this was a product what initially introduced called FlexiFast, which is giving a loans against shares. Now this is the pre-technology age when the share certificates were available in physical forms, and you used to take these physical forms, sort it out, and give a loan. With
So जैसे
certain
गोल्ड
market-
लेके हम
Yes.
पैसा देते थे.
Loan against shares.
loan against shares. So many challenges. Duplicate share.
How do you, that's what I was asking कि how do you verify कि हर्षद मेहता ने दे दिया है कोई शेयर आपको?
वो बात भी हो सकती है. Then serialization, there is no way. So there is a proposition that कि okay, आप धंधा भी करो, जल्दी भी कस्टमर को सर्व करो, और ये
So balance of risk.
बैलेंस
and
ऑफ रिस्क एंड
profitability.
अदर थिंग मेंटेन करो. और उस समय क्या था, 15 डेज का एवरेज शेयर्स प्राइस पे सर्टन परसेंटेज ऑफ लोन यूज टू गिव 65%. मार्केट क्रैश कर गया. देन क्या होता था, भागो क्लाइंट के पीछे, भाई पैसा दे दे. सो दैट वाज द सिचुएशन.
Now we never hear of loan against shares.
No, it's there.
No, it's
You
not
can-
there. I
हाँ.
still-
I don't hear.
I get that. I mean, Axis Bank offered me that.
डीमार्ट अकाउंट आपके पास है and you have got a marketable shares, you can place that and get the shares. Quick
Pledging,
money.
remember I told about pledging, margin money, options
Margin
के लिए
money,
we could-
options.
mutual fund, सब कुछ हम pledge कर सकते हैं.
सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. But
Easy हो गया है अब.
अभी बहुत
Become
easy
more
हो गया.
easy.
उस समय there was a one condition was there, promoter shares you should not place. But again, what is the meaning of promoter? Promoter relative can be a promoter. That relative was missing. तो ये बहुत पैसा. So that's a kind of a forced exposure to the banking. So when I left Delhi 98, उस समय ATM introduce हो रहे थे. Again,
Okay.
think it of a
The pre-ATM phase.
think of the Bikaji Kama में ATM. There's an offline ATM. You got a credit card, a debit card, which has got a limit of 10,000 rupees. That's the maximum. but again your account has got a 5,000 rupees and you draw 10,000 rupees. Next day जब reconciliation होगा निकल के आता था because there is no
वो रिकंसाइल होना है बैंक अकाउंट के साथ.
OD was a bug.
so just you imagine बैंक मैनेजर का क्या हाल होता होगा. सारे कस्टमर के पीछे भागो, then हम भी भागते थे. So that was the thing. That's the primitive technology when we got into.
And how far we have come now.
How far we have come. 98 में, if you people used to buy this Motorola
phone
Brick.
brick. If you call them, they will गाली देंगे आपको. अरे कॉल आए या जाए
पैसा लगता है.
30 rupees is big money, right? लेकिन pager, that was the jamana. So yes, so this is the generation which has seen everything, right?
Yes.
We're the luckiest people. That happened in 2002. 2000 I came to Mumbai. I worked initially for a textile company, and after that I got into EDS, Electronic Data Services, one of the US biggest tech company at that point of time. And Fortune 100 जो बोलते थे Fortune 100 में that company used to be. It's a huge. Yeah, that has given us a good opportunity to look into the technology per se in a detailed way. So I was part of the CFO org of EDS. Also, we work very closely with Emphasis BFL, what EDS acquired. I was part of the Mumbai team. Then I moved to Pune. So that was that opening what I got into real things. Only the disadvantage was that I used to work on a US shift. So evening 2 to early morning. Evening 5 to early morning 3. That was a kind of a...
That has not changed even now.
So, but again, that has given a good opportunity to grow. And 2008, when I left Mumbai, I came to Hyderabad. I thought, let me do a complete shift in my career. So, I came to Hyderabad and joined a consulting group who are doing pretty big on the healthcare consulting and the developmental funding like World Bank.
Which company was this?
Sadhguru Management Consultant. So right now they're there. And that is that. And I fortunate to got a boss, Raghunathan, who changed my life. So right now he's the chairman for Aurobindo Pharma.
Okay.
So that perspective has given a different twist. So real thing started in 2008, 2016 when
What did you learn that was different from your experience to how he influenced you?
See, I was always keen to get into the investment banking side. But the real investment banking thing came here when I worked on a couple of the biggest projects in Hyderabad. Talk about Park Hyatt, talk about Marriott, all these projects single-handedly I have handled it. And
so when you say handle, मतलब आपने क्या किया?
So branding, see, the way this hospitality group works, you as a project developer, you intend to do a certain project. You say that, okay, I want to do a particular brand of Marriott or a Hyatt. They have got certain specification. They'll first understand you, what you are, and whether you have got that sort of a capability to get into that. Then the brand relationship starts. But that is forever because every brand has got their own models. What should be the room size? What should be the atrium? How it should come? The brand has got very particular. In that brand also there are categories. If you look at that Hyatt Centric, Hyatt Park Hyatt, then Hyatt Grand. So all these things are the specification difference. Such that the first brand reconciliation और जो बोलते हैं ना brand को matching करना पड़ता है. वो होने के बाद then you get into the project mode. Now yes, you have got a piece of land. Then you start getting certain equity, certain funding. Then you scale up the project and do the completion.
So the funding does not come from the brand?
No. Brand only give you the brand and they take the royalty on that.
So who typically owns such properties? Local businesses?
Local businessmen or the local businesses, local people own that business.
Okay.
Brand, the revenue share happens with a certain percentage on the food and all these other things. There's a royalty to be paid. There are a lot of things are there because you are owning a brand. And there is certain minimum payment has to be done. So there are a lot of calculation into that. But again, the property belongs to you. You own the property and you are responsible for the profit and loss of that account. And that's how the thing started. Yes, I did a lot of good projects on the hospitality side. I did a lot of mergers and acquisition on this thing. So that has opened up my investment banking career. And we did a lot of good thing in Hyderabad. Be it on the pharma side, be it on getting a global fundings to Hyderabad, venture funding. So a lot of things has happened. Yes, 2016 I thought of exiting and start something on the same line, investment banking. So ये जो बोलते हैं ना boutique investment जो कि छोटा सा investment, we just keep on advising. That's my first entrepreneurship journey. There is a learning a lot, but it's a big failure because first entrepreneurship journey was a failure. I mean to say, we did manage to have some good investment, but again, we could not estimate that, sustain those things. Whether, startups are coming up in a big time, right? Whether there is a growth story, whether there is a potential to expand it, that should be the key. If you are looking in the millet, if you are looking at the, let's say, think it of a millet, you are creating a product portfolio out of the millet. Those millet portfolio, how much big you can create? You have to consider other aspect of that. Whether the working capital you can sustain. Because the more the bigger pie is happening. Take the example of big basket. What happened to that? Working capital play. Take the thing of any of the bigger retail. The failure is that because the lot of inventory got stuck. Inventory management is the biggest key. So, but again, we used to take the exposure on some organic produce, some cold press. We never think it of that ki ye scalable hai ki nahi. That's the first learning.
Sustainable, trying to come up with a sustainable
model.
And not just a growth model which is burning money with an expectation of
we'll do something, we'll do next time. So that's the C. Another thing is that capital heavy. People just get into that, I'll create asset, I'll create a building, infrastructure. That conventional things are gone. When you are doing a business, this is, first you have to think it of asset-light model. Get into asset-light model and create that big picture, get into that profitability, then you, from that profit you plow back to. So that was that biggest learning what has happened. So 2019 I thought of that, let me change my chair, tables, change my side. I started TRST01. It was earlier form was named as a ET garage. So उस समय अपना सोच ये था कि let's create a business model which will provide a traceability. उस समय I used to say this thing, the food you eat, you should have always all the rights to know where the source is coming from, कहाँ से वो आ रहा है. Is there any kind of a tech solution available? So we look into that space. उस समय blockchain was coming up, creating certain use cases using blockchain as a overarching element of the technology. See, इसमें क्या होता है? We never thought it up. We'll get into the blockchain and create a crypto story. That was never a focus. We say that let's use the blockchain for goods to prove the provenance where the origin is that. Either your food product or your certificate or your anything, milk you
Are
eat.
they digital assets or are they physical
asset?
To which, so how do you attach a blockchain identity or how does this work? This tagging work from the source to the...
See, simple. Let's understand a process of a millet mix. It is coming from a field. 3 types of millets are coming from 3 different fields. Getting mix, getting process, and you are creating a millet powder or a millet mix. So first thing is that there is certain change of states are happening from the land. It is coming to the process. There is a time and date stamp. There is a location stamp. You are getting that. So this is called change of states. When it is getting produced, is getting from the field to the finished product or the raw material coming. That is getting recorded on the real time.
So where is it recorded? Say you have produce which is in a bag or basket maybe.
Yeah. So that is recorded in Web 2.
Okay.
What we are doing, that recording, we are creating a hash value out of that. That hash value we are storing in the blockchain layer.
So someone like me who doesn't understand anything about blockchain, I don't know anything. मैं क्रिप्टो का नाम सुनते मुझे कन्फ्यूजन हो जाता है कि भाई I never saw Bitcoin being traded in the real world except for making money. People are buying it. I never saw the use case of a crypto. Unlike gold, people say gold is also investment. But आप gold को पहन तो सकते हो. बिटकॉइन का क्या कर सकते हैं? सो आई फॉर अ पर्सन हु नेवर अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट, व्हेन आई एम ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड, अगर मैंने सामने सुपरमार्केट से ऑर्गेनिक गेहूं का एक पैकेट लेके आया हूँ, हाउ डू आई फिगर आउट द सोर्स ऑफ इट?
ओके, सो उसमें क्या होता है ना, व्हेन द ऑर्गेनिक गेहूँ आपका प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, लेट्स गो
खेती में है।
हाँ, खेती में है, लेट्स गो 2 स्टेप बियॉन्ड दैट। ऑर्गेनिक गेहूँ का जो न्यूक्लियस सीड रहता है, सीड को हम पहले आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, हु इज़ द ओरिजिनल ओनर ऑफ दैट सीड। वो सीड कब खेती में आया, दोज थिंग्स गेट रिकॉर्डेड इन द डिजिटल फॉर्म। दैट मीन्स कैसा होता है, दिस द न्यूक्लियस सीड ओन्ड बाय दिस यूनिवर्सिटी और दिस ग्रुप और दिस एपीओ, वी गॉट दैट सर्टिफाइड एंड रिकॉर्ड इट। रिकॉर्ड इट कैसे, डिजिटली रिकॉर्ड करते हैं, टेक द फोटोग्राफ एंड record it. When that organic गेहूँ, what is that, germinate होता है, then we go to the field, record it, data sets, everything is what keep on recording on the real time, on the real world, on the web 2. उसमें क्या होता है, every point of time जब record करते हैं, let's say the गेहूँ is converting into germination हो रहा है, उसमें हाँ ये हो रहा है, क्या बोलते हैं,
पौधा बनता है, उसका
हाँ,
स्टेप बाय स्टेप
होता है, एंड फाइनली हार्वेस्ट होता है। ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर गेटिंग रिकॉर्डेड, एंड दैट रिकॉर्डिंग, दैट द वैल्यू, मे बी द फोटोग्राफ, मे बी द डेट एंड टाइम स्टैम्प, मे बी द हार्वेस्टिंग प्रोसेस get converted into a hash value. That hash value stored in a ledger which you can't even change it. वही ब्लॉकचेन बोलते हैं। ब्लॉकचेन क्या है, द डेटा इम्यूटेबिलिटी, डेटा को चेंज नहीं कर सकते हो, इट गेट इन टू ए सम स्टेट वेयर यू कांट चेंज इट, तो आपको द फर्स्ट वर्जन ऑफ ट्रूथ इज गेटिंग रिकॉर्डेड। ब्लॉकचेन,
द प्रोसेस इज बीइंग रिकॉर्डेड इज व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, बट द रॉ मटेरियल बदल सकता है इंसान। तो
I was exactly going to say what Amit must be thinking.
नो, रॉ मटेरियल अगर बदलेगा, नेक्स्ट स्टेज में जब वैलिडेशन होगा, वो फर्स्ट लेवल से मैच नहीं करेगा।
क्योंकि मुझे तो ये सवाल इसलिए आ रहा है बिकॉज जब भी मैं मार्केट में जाता हूँ आजकल, हम जिस एरिया में रहते हैं यहाँ पर सब लोग ऑर्गेनिक के पीछे भाग रहे हैं, और मुझे सच बताऊँ तो 75% लोगों के भरोसा ही नहीं है कि वो ऑर्गेनिक है। वो मेरे सामने ही पीछे सेम थैले में दोनों चीज़ें हैं, आगे ऑर्गेनिक के नाम पे डबल पाव पे बेच रहा है, ये रेगुलर रेट पे बेच रहा है। सो वी आर ईटिंग,
सिंपल, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन, ट्राई टू कन्विंस यू। बोलना चाहता, ऑर्गेनिक जो बोलते हैं ना, 3 चीज़ होती है। आपको तो लैंड ऑर्गेनिक होना चाहिए, उसमें कोई केमिकल पेस्टिसाइड होना नहीं चाहिए।
14-15 years से होना
सो मिनिमम अभी 3 years हो गया, 3 to 5 years।
really?
हाँ, सो यू हैव टू गेट इनटू द प्रोसेस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक, यू हैव टू मॉनिटर दैट प्रोसेस। मॉनिटरिंग प्रोसेस में कोई एजेंसी रहता है जो कि आपको सर्टिफिकेट देता है। सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट योर सीड इज ऑर्गेनिक, seed is organic, source is organic,
How
and
is
you're,
that ascertained?
again, the certification process.
Who certifies?
So these are the people who are in India, EPIDA उनको सर्टिफिकेशन देता है। there is a US UNDP का एक प्रोटोकॉल है, उसके हिसाब से couple of agency they got that USDA का couple of the agencies got the power to give the certificate, so they follow certain methodology to give the certificate. तो process certification हो गया। now harvest होने के बाद post harvest technology also has to be organic. That means you can't put any chemical pesticide, you have to go for the natural. So all this certification should compile and to say that कि this is the final product which is organic. But again उसमें आप अगर बोलोगे कोई तो पैकेट ले लिया, वो ऑर्गेनिक निकाल के दूसरा डाल दिया, दैट वी कैंट हेल्प इट। तो इसमें क्या होता है, व्हाट वी आर सेइंग दैट ऑर्गेनिक सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए इफ यू पुट इनटू द ब्लॉकचेन, इसमें क्या ब्लॉकचेन में जाता है, ऑल दिस प्रोसेस इज गोइंग टू द ब्लॉकचेन। व्हेन यू स्कैन द QR code, then you find that authenticity. Now coming to the crypto is a part of the blockchain, not the complete form. One application of blockchain where all this जो validation होता है, simple way में let me try to explain you the first version of blockchain. Let's say there is a group, what we call as a wife सब करते रहते हैं ना, हाउस वाइफ सब, what is that called, चिट फंड ग्रुप और समथिंग, किटी पार्टी सिंपल, सॉरी, किटी पार्टी में there is a kitty, okay, and there is certain transaction. So when I take that kitty or I gave you 100 rupees, so let's say a group of 10 people, 2 people doing transaction, 8 people witness that transaction. Blockchain में ऐसा होता है कि data remains in every computer. Whenever there is a ask for a validation, majority of the computer has to validate that. तो वो रन करने के लिए यू नीड समथिंग कॉल्ड एज ए टोकन्स.
द कॉस्ट ऑफ
द ट्रांजेक्शन
इज टोकन, राइट?
टोकन. सो उस टोकन को देन यू replace with a word called a crypto. That is that what. But again, every crypto should have some sort of a intrinsic value below. Then only it will create a certain level of simple, sir. Stock market mein, when we say market is right now 35,000, the value is there, right? We know that each of the
some
stock,
asset
asset backing is there. When you talk of your country's sovereignty or the rupee, the asset backing is the gold. Asset backing is the real economy. What is there in crypto backing? Even I don't believe that Bitcoin going beyond $100,000. What is that? I'm not convinced. I keep on asking that कि इसके पीछे intrinsic value क्या है? Right now crypto में intrinsic value एक है speculation.
सपने बेच रहे हैं.
सपने speculation. See, you know that period when ugly monkeys और जो क्या बंदर सब डिजिटल आर्ट फॉर्म में NFTs don't understand क्या हो रहा है.
I always felt it was a big scam.
It is a big scam. So see, blockchain gives a lot of avenue to create all this scam. क्या हुआ? There is something called as a decentralized authority, or they call it but again it's a group of people who define that authority, and they can manipulate. Let's say you have got a crypto coin supplies with a group of people, maybe a million people. Somebody is pulling down or somebody is pulling up. Obviously the market is going up. Then more and more people are getting into that. Ultimately तो एक तो it's क्या हो ना, खोखला है.
टूटता ही है वो.
तो चेन तो टूटेगा ना, खोखला है. So that's how it is happening. Now the new phase of blockchain which is coming up right now, it is backed by solid use cases. ONDC is using blockchain for the transaction. आपका जो DG यात्रा है, all your face scan, that's a solid blockchain. Now they have started using in Singapore the international transaction. Even in India, the 7 banks are doing for their international transaction reconciliation using blockchain. There are certain real use cases are coming up right now. But again, if you leave that space of blockchain crypto side, this side is amazing. A lot of things. Right now, we are also working on something. So that was the story till 2018. 2016, I started my boutique a small investment wing, and we started taking certain exposure. Made a good, I lost whatever I have earned for last several years.
Oh, really?
So then I said, okay, क्या बोलते हैं ना, कुएं में जंप कर चुके हो तो तैरना तो पड़ेगा. तैरना सीखा. तो we started another company. I started another company to define the traceability. So we started the company name as the ET Garage, Emerging Technology Garage Company, which will be, the base will be Web2 to define every traceability, where it is coming, and the layer will be blockchain. So we used to say that कि first version of truth. उस समय क्या हुआ था, कोविड आ गया 2019, 2020, 2021. You know, there's a big scam was going on, COVID vaccination certificate, because you can't allow to free. So they used to put a QR code. The people used to copy and paste it and say that you are COVID. So those use cases we started working, and we got certain good POCs from Government of India, state government. Then we proved that. In fact, the first use case what we do it in Pune Municipality Corporation for their property tax receipt authentication. So क्या होता है, when you go for a loan, they say that whether you have paid the property tax or not. People used to fake around. So उसको authenticate करने के लिए
ये भी करते हैं लोग.
अरे वो सब होता है सर, अभी भी होता है. अभी तो चलो, अभी तो everything is digital ना, you know that. So we put into that blockchain, वो काम किया. Then we went to Government of Odisha for the PDS traceability, वो भी काम किया. Then we did some certificate authentication for ये जो आपका matriculation certificate, diploma certificate. We did a use case with AICT, वो भी काम किया.
So when you say authentication, you are taking the certificates from AICT, proof of authentication, then uploading that in the blockchain so that it's immutable.
Immutable.
Then it can be used for
And we
verification.
create a QR code. The moment you scan the QR code, it will go to the original.
So I have a question here. आपने 1890 तक सब दूसरों के लिए काम किया. You started your own stuff in 1819. ये सब मुझे समझ में आ गया. How can you bill the government? उड़ीसा गवर्नमेंट ने पैसे कैसे दे दिए किसी को?
पैसे नहीं दिया. We just get a
POC दिया.
POC दिया. And we got a 5 lakh rupees check. अभी भी that's the first income कंपनी का. I got that even पैसा उतना ही मिला.
अच्छा.
They took that.
हाँ.
And they run 2 parallel system. शायद ये बंद हो जाए. Or some other intention, I don't know. But again, they run 2 parallel system for the PDS. बाद में वो प्रोजेक्ट का क्या हुआ पता नहीं, लेकिन अभी they've come up with a tender asking that if you got 100 crores turnover, then you will be participating. मैं बोला फर्स्ट तो मैं आपको बताया कैसा होता है. Right now you are asking me 100 crores का turnover है तो then you can apply. I said not this year, next year we'll reach, we'll cross that. So 2019 में I incorporate TRST01. The first thing was that to create a use case on the supply chain traceability, food traceability, seed traceability. You know, Telangana mein, we're the first company, even right now also, there's a product called Tandoor Dal. Tandoor is 100 kilometer from here.
विकाराबाद से आगे.
विकाराबाद से आगे.
पत्थर फेमस है वैसे वहाँ का.
पत्थर फेमस है, इसीलिए दाल फेमस है. उसमें दाल में 24% प्रोटीन है, जो कि वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं मिलेगा. You know?
Okay. I'm in search of protein, so my whole I tell him every day सुबह वॉक में कि प्रोटीन वाला
फूड. PJT ऐसे यूनिवर्सिटी में दाल मिलती है 450 rupees a kg. You know?
So it's very costly compared to.
Just wait. Why it is costly? Tandoor dal, the university people wants to do a GI tagging for that because that's a unique dal. We did the complete tech stack for them, and they got the GI tagging. And you know, this is the only GI tag in India which is blockchain enabled, and only TRST01 has done. Just now, क्या बोलते हैं ना, पहले का पुण्य कभी ना कभी तो रिटर्न
मिलता ही है.
2021 में we did that project. Just a month before, there's a team from government of India. They came to us. Okay, बोले please join us in Tandoor. We need to study. Now, government of India is studying that there are 22 varieties of rice. Whether we can do the blockchain traceability to create a value for the farmers. And that point, we realized that 63,000 families have benefited, where the 2021 mein they used to sell 7,000 rupees per quintal of dal. Right now they're selling 16,000 rupees per quintal of dal. See the transformation, we say that doubling the farmer income. We have doubled the farmer income more than that just in 2.3 years. Families, those who are doing cotton, they've shifted to dal. And that is getting sold. And right now, this is that impact. So, the theory, the thought process has started changing from 2019 onwards. You create a business which is also creating impact. So, that was that thing what we started building up from 2020. 3 things we look into very specifically. You are making money. Yes, startup I've created to make money. Also to create impact. Also to benefit the planet. So that realization has started in a way 2021 and 22. We thought of that. ये small POC में कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Let's get into the carbon credit side or the sustainability side. We created India's first carbon credit NFT token. Again. Woo, big bang, all headlines throughout India.
It's like a rocket which falls next day.
Not a single person bought that tokens, NFT tokens. So this was some biogas tokens what you've created. So
what is the asset underlying or backing?
Carbon credit.
Which is also.
Can you explain a little more?
Which is also in the air. Carbon credits also हवा में ही है तो.
No. क्या होता है कार्बन क्रेडिट? कार्बन क्रेडिट ये होता है इफ यू डू सम क्या बोलते हैं सस्टेनेबल इनिशिएटिव व्हिच सिक्वेस्ट दैट मीन्स एब्जॉर्ब कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फ्रॉम एटमॉस्फेयर और व्हिच अवॉइड emitting carbon dioxide to atmosphere, that is a good thing you are doing for the whole planet. You should be getting benefited. is a reward. So simple way में, all the industry they pollute, they create carbon footprint. We know that.
They need to set it back.
They need to set it up. But again, they are not in that business of, we are in the business of that. So what do we do?
Airlines are burning and someone has to fill it.
जंगल क्रिएट करते हैं. That's the carbon. जो मीथेन इमिशन हो रहा है, we capture those and use as a biogas. So मीथेन इमिशन को हम कम कर रहे हैं. And you know, methane, 1 ton of methane is equivalent to 21 tons of carbon dioxide. So methane is a bigger proportion. Agriculture, paddy, rice, हम जो बनाते हैं इंडिया में 17% of the greenhouse gases are emitted from paddy field.
From paddy field?
Yes. And you know why the reason? Excess use of water. We are too much generous for giving free electricity, free water to farmer. They flood the farm.
It's always paddy fields, I see they're filled with water.
Filled with water.
Yeah.
So stagnant water generates methane. Now, if you change that practice, there are certain proven practice, what is called alternate wetting and drying. You gradually fill and you remove. See, water is required below the ground. Okay? रूट को पानी चाहिए, ना कि ऊपर पौधा को पानी चाहिए. तो दे डू दैट. Again, they flood the water because उसमें क्या होता है ना, that घास and all these things they have to control. That's why they also fill the water. If you can do this alternate wetting and drying methodology, not only you save water 40 to 60%,
You generate carbon credit?
you also generate eligible for carbon credit. So these are the value proposition on the carbon credit side.
Oh, this is very interesting.
So
when you're talking about 17% from paddy, also the dairy farms also generate a lot of gases.
Agriculture produce 30% of the, that includes dairy, produce 30% of your carbon dioxide, whole planet.
People presume that it's only industries.
No.
I've heard of cattle also giving out a lot of methane.
ऑटोमोबाइल अपना सारे इंडिया में जितना प्रोड्यूस नहीं करते हैं, पैडी फील्ड उससे ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. बट अगेन इसको अगर हम कैप्चर कर सकते हैं मीथेन को, एंड यू यूज इट फॉर द
गैस.
सो बट अगेन आप कैटल फार्म से तो मीथेन कैप्चर कर सकते हैं गोबर से, बट अगेन पैडी फील्ड से मीथेन कैप्चर नहीं कर सकते. व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन रिड्यूस दैट. इफ यू रिड्यूस दैट ऑल्सो यू आर एलिजिबल फॉर द रिवार्ड इन फॉर्म ऑफ कार्बन क्रेडिट.
And that reward would be sold to the companies
those who have to offset.
So for example, Indigo Airlines.
They should buy that.
They should buy it.
But again, ये सब regulation के through से ही हो सकता है. It's not that कि only this way only you do that.
So India में market नहीं बना है.
अभी बन रहा है.
We
India
have
is
portals
coming
in India, right? We have portals in India. Marketplace भी आ गई हैं.
No, marketplace भी आ गए. Universal Carbon Credit is the first company to launch this thing. In fact, we did universal carbon credit से कुछ around 10,000 carbon credit खरीद के then we tokenize that. Okay, so it is still on the VHU बोल के BHU. VHU is the name. So tokenize, anticipation that things are going to change, but again it's going to take some time. Evolving. So that was what we did in 2021. Then we thought that ये तो चलने वाला नहीं है. So these are called ना startup pivots. You shouldn't be afraid of doing the pivots. कोई नहीं चल रहा है, खत्म करो, आगे देखो. Then we got into a position where I got introduced to Manoj, my present co-founder from Singapore. So Manoj comes with a plethora of knowledge of trading of rubber and coffee, those kind of things. The world first regulation come on the sustainability called EUDR, European Union Deforestation Regulation. That regulation say that every commodity, so they define 7 commodities: rubber, coffee, cocoa, timber, oil palm, soybean, and your livestock. If you are exporting it to Europe, it should be sourced from a non-deforested area. How do you prove that?
Traceability.
That's where. But again, how do you prove that there is a non-deforested area? You have to depend on certain satellite data and you have to do on a lot of analytics. That's the core of the innovation of TRST01 right now.
It is trying to prove to countries that there is provenance in meeting the EDRI regulations.
EUDR regulation and also so this is just the beginning.
So keeping it very simple, जैसे the Western world has donated a lot of money to African countries and many times they get scammed. वहाँ कुछ on ground होता नहीं है. You mean to say with this blockchain protocols, they can backtrack everything. I mean, thanks to
So
blockchain,
let's
you can
not talk
verify.
about the blockchain. Just talk about the traceability. Blockchain तो बाद में आएगा.
हाँ हाँ.
Blockchain is a implementation.
Implementation.
Of traceability.
So step by step verification हो रही है चीज़ें.
Exactly. So इसमें क्या हुआ? The first sustainability regulation in the world, which has just came into picture. So that has opened up our things. So Manoj got into the company. He said, "You have got a beautiful traceability platform. Let me connect you to the customer." That's the progression came. Manoj and myself, we started. हमने बात करना चालू किया जून 2020 में, जून 2020 में. I think December 2020 में, 2022 में. Then June 23 में we started working together. Platform got developed. November 2023 में we got the first revenue. 2024 was a transformation year for us. April में we started the first revenue. So far we have closed around $6.5 million.
Wow.
Wow.
Realized revenue.
Wow.
So ये बन गया ना 60-70 करोड़ 6-8 महीने में. From location from Hyderabad. Right now we are in 10 countries. 2 offices in US. 2 offices in US. Australia we opened up. Ivory Coast we are working. We are just getting into Dubai. And Southeast Asia में we have got clientele from Laos, China, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam.
Wow, your clients are all those countries that want to export stuff to Europe.
Export stuff to Europe, rubber. See,
Yeah,
again a
all
rubber
the
story
rubber
क्या
that
होता है? Southeast Asia and part of the Africa, that West Africa, produces 85% of the world rubber. And 85% of the world rubber sale, 90% goes to the tire industry.
Goes to
Tire industry.
Mm-hmm.
So tire industry is getting a big time impact because of this regulation. So they have to adapt our solution. Same thing happened for the coffee. You'll not believe, July, August, September, October, 5 months I was in the coffee belt in my car. I took my son's car from Bangalore. My life is in my car.
You went to Chikmagalur and
Chikmagalur. You name the client, they are with us. 70% of the coffee from India goes to Europe. They need this.
What is the simple value proposition for, say, there's a coffee estate?
Coffee estate, if
They don't know anything about this
Yes,
whole space.
whole
so
space.
what is your value prop?
No, they are importer. They say that you come with a compliance, I'll give you a $1,500 more. $3,800 था कॉफ़ी का प्राइस 2023 में. Right now it's $6,200, $6,300 because of the traceability. Premium has gone up. मेरा अप्रोच सिंपल था. Every day I used to go to coffee guys. Sir, मेरे को upfront कुछ पैसा नहीं दो. You sign a contract. Per kg, I need 1 rupee. My technology fee. Left, right, center. 90% of coffee, excluding Tata Coffee, are with me. Big time. Coffee हो गया, rubber हो गया. Think it of rubber, India. India is the 5th largest producer of rubber, you know.
Wow.
Still import 40% of the natural rubber. India has got 850,000 hectares. 8,50,000 hectare of rubber plantation.
Why do we import?
Because we require more than that. We produce around 1 million tons of rubber. We consume around 1.3 million tons of rubber.
But we are still exporting rubber, or we don't?
We don't export natural rubber. We export rubber derivative like tire हो गया, latex हो गया, globes हो गया.
So
We don't export
upper in the value chain.
upper in the value chain. We convert rubber. But again, another angle to the rubber. Indian rubber is not that where we have deforested the area. These are the rubber plants which are grown naturally years together.
How do you prove that this is not? This has grown naturally in a forest. What are the last mile problems that you have seen?
See, इसमें क्या होता है? रबर प्लांट का एक एवरेज लाइफ रहता है अराउंड 30-40 ईयर्स, बट द पीक इज़ दैट अराउंड 15 ईयर्स तक दे गिव यू गुड मिल्क, रबर मिल्क जो बोलते हैं ना. तो ये आफ्टर 7 ईयर टिल 15th ईयर दे गिव यू. सो इफ़ यू लुक एट दैट पैटर्न, इंडिया रबर जो केरला में है, अभी कुछ नॉर्थ ईस्ट में वी आर डेवलपिंग, दिस आर काइंड ऑफ फ्रॉम एजेस. Okay, now what we do the satellite analysis, going back to the history and do all these things. But again, Indian rubber is a kind of a sustainable rubber. It's not grown on destroying forest. So there is a new brand is coming. Okay, now before coming to that, then we discuss with the rubber board. They come up with a tender. Right now we are mapping 850,000 hectares of rubber plantation. Each of the rubber is defining as an Indian sustainable natural rubber.
When you say you are mapping, what exactly are you doing there?
Every farm is mapped with who is the owner, their identity. So even 1 kg of rubber or a coffee going from that farm, ultimately when you drink a cup of coffee or you run a car tire, you know that where it is coming from. That's the technology transformation what I have done.
So how do you provide the trust angle? So someone unknown has to trust in your process.
Exactly.
Right? How are you ensuring someone is not gaming the system?
Exactly. You got a very valid question. First thing first, what you do, हम एक फार्म को जाते हैं, उसको मैपिंग करते हैं, then we tag with that ownership. We take that document, also match with that and tag to the farmer. Okay. Now look at a rubber or a coffee value chain. Farmers are there who are the producer. Then it goes to the aggregator. Aggregator goes to the sub-dealer, to the dealer, to the final processor. All this value chain, we give them, enable them with a technology, simple mobile application. When me as a farmer giving you 100 kgs of natural rubber, you record that and acknowledge in a digital format. Yes, I received. From that, when it goes to Amit as a dealer, that gets recorded. So the data sets flow continuously till the processor.
How do you tag with the actual physical item? Someone can always swap that 100 kg of rubber with something else.
No, rubber is, see, if I'm buying rubber, obviously I'll buy rubber. I can tag, I can say.
No, with some other quality rubber or something.
Yes. For a natural rubber, the quality is same. But again, what if I sell someone else rubber? My rubber field, let's say 1 hectare, got a 1 yield capabilities. In Africa, we produce 1.5 metric ton. In India, we produce 1.1 metric ton. At any point of time, my yield can't be beyond that. So that's the first point.
Yeah, fair enough. Someone can't game it beyond their yield.
Beyond that yield. So the complete value chain is getting mapped now. When the final consignment is getting ready, let's say 1,000 tons, all these data sets are there. It goes to European Union with these data sets. Also, we have to submit with a digital record. We call it as a JSON format. The moment they upload it, they know that this is not coming from any non-deforested area. That's the sustainability we are driving. What has happened? You are preserving the planet. You are giving an income to the farmer. You are also making business for profit. So this inclusiveness, what we call as a sustainability. 3 things. Sustainability is not all about the environment. Environment is one piece. Social is the second piece. Third is the economy is the third piece. When you do this, then you know that what real thing you are doing. So that's the inclusive things what you're trying to do. That's why we define. See, there is no definition as a sustainable tech. People say as a climate tech, but again, I define this company as a sustainable tech.
Now, I was just saying, when you were talking about sustainability, it has become a new buzzword. And मैंने काफ़ी ऐसे इवेंट्स देखे हैं जहाँ पर सस्टेनेबिलिटी के नाम पे इवेंट ही कुछ सस्टेनेबल नहीं होते हैं, बट मीडिया में आने के लिए, न्यूज़ में आने के लिए कंपनीज ये करती हैं. So, have you been to similar experiences?
Yeah, similar experience. Recently, I was there in Dubai, me and Manoj. See, sustainability become a most abused word. Everywhere people are using. Recently, we went to Dubai. I don't want to name the event. Temperature was maintained at 19 degree. Full andhera. Full unsustainable things. Full of plastic bottles. Only the sustainable things what you can think it of, green lights.
Green lights.
Those are sustainable, right? Green, color green.
Color green is defined as a sustainable. That's not sustainable. So what is that? The way is okay. Let's say not people temperature is fine, but again you could have done it a better way. Recycle, use those plastic which can be recycled. There could be a lot of things. Yes, you are right. Sustainability become a fashion. Everywhere sustainability tag is becoming a good thing. And sustainability sells also.
So before you write something on the internet, just add words like sustainability, natural, organic, pure, clean. ये सब ऐड कर दो तो लोगों की तरफ से इंटरेस्ट बढ़ जाता है. We don't know how much of that is really sustainable.
See, sustainability should be three things. Environment, you talk about the social impact, and you talk about the economic benefit. Unless until you are creating these three things, कुछ नहीं होगा. अभी environment, okay, you do a very good project in environment. But again, if the farmers, क्या बोलते हैं, the जंगली जो आदिवासी, if they are not getting any benefit, what is the meaning of that?
For example, one failure in sustainability is crop burning. If there was a better solution that could avoid crop burning, we would be in much better place.
That's true. So sustainability is getting. I think it's becoming a kind of a common word for everywhere that people started.
It has to be a win-win also.
Win-win also
across the whole chain.
So that's the innovation. That's the TRST01. What we are trying to do right now. We are focusing on we have got three solutions अभी. एक तो हम complete supply chain greening कर रहे हैं या we are creating that impact. Second is that how to measure those. We've got another solution called Footprint. It measures really are you doing the carbon avoidance. First, you should know how to measure those things. Carbon footprint. So measurement के लिए we have devised a tool. So which measures. We've got a first client as a Colgate Palmolive. Fortunate. Right now we're working on a lot of the banks. See, banks gives a loan, right? Then those loans get into the industry. Whether that industry is generating pollution or not, that is that bank's sustainability index. They should know.
Who cares about the sustainability index of a bank, for example?
Right now there is a regulation. RBI has come up with a complete. RBI is coming up with a complete draft regulation. As a bank, as a housing finance, as a NBFC, as a SME, as a large corporate, you define your sustainability where you are funding.
So on this, I have a question. Many companies struggle to balance between the profitability and sustainability. I mean, with new guidelines coming in the world कि आपको sustainable रहना है environment के हिसाब से, अलग-अलग parameters के हिसाब से. But how can companies even stay profitable while going through all these new guidelines or new requirements in the world?
See, it's
an added cost, right?
It's an added cost, no doubt about that. But again, you have to look into a kind of a mitigation strategy. What will look into that? Simple. Let's say for a paste manufacturing company like Colgate Palmolive, what are they? They use plastic. Can they get into a replacement of plastic? Not possible. Can they go for a recycling of plastic? That's possible. Water. Can they go for a recycling? Can they go for a water harvesting? Can they go for a kind of a rejuvenating those lakes and dried things? You fund in there. So indirectly, you are getting benefited. Third thing is that energy. What is your energy transition plan? Right now, your energy may be 80% maybe from a coal-fired but you should also look into that energy transition plan. How much is renewable energy? So right now, what is happening? They are not saying that tomorrow you should get into that. You come up with your net zero plan, maybe 2030, 2035 or 2050. But again, you monitor those. How you are gradually getting into that.
But that's what I was saying. It's a very good thought. It's a very good timeline भी है आपके सामने कि 10 साल 15 साल का प्लान बनाओ. But जहाँ वर्ल्ड कंपटीशन की तरफ जा रहा है, cost of goods have going up, cost of salaries, manpower, machinery, everything is going up. Tax slabs are not reducing. तो already companies are going with very small profits. उसके ऊपर से नए नए guidelines की sustain, which is a good thought. मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ.
It's a good thought, but again अमित इसमें क्या होता है ना? You have to be innovative. So that's the element of innovation comes. See, think it of right now. Whole Europe, get rid of these coal-fire blast furnaces. Get into electric blast furnaces. There should be a thought process. There should be a way. There should be intent. Then only the things are going to change. And that should be a big push also come. See, what happens, why people will change or adapt a new technology or new things. I call it 4 R's. That's my favorite quote. Regulation, will push you. Or risk, if you are not into, then you will be out. Reputation, if I am not sustainable, no one cares for me, right? I have to put that logo of sustainable, recycle, just to make my brand. Last thing is that reward. If you are sustainable, then you are eligible for certain reward. So these 4 things, 4 R's, should push any organization. In fact, it's pushing all of the organization to go for that sustainability. And it's a kind of if you are not sustainable, if your carbon footprint is more, I think next time when you drink a plastic bottle of water, you want to know that how much carbon footprint is created in this bottle. Just to share a knowledge, 12 kgs of carbon footprint is created when we drink a 1 plastic bottle of 1 liter.
Wow. That's end-to-end number?
End-to-end.
Like from the supply chain till it's
Everything,
delivered, all the
everything,
petrol, everything.
So what about EV batteries? I'm curious. We like to think of the average consumer, at least, thinks of EVs as green.
It's not green.
What do those numbers look like?
The production of lithium creates the highest carbon footprint.
Probably the most toxic.
Most toxic. And if you calculate the whole life cycle, they call it life cycle analysis of this EV vehicles, it has got the more carbon footprint than the normal vehicles.
गवर्नमेंट को तो सबसे ज़्यादा स्मार्टेस्ट लोग काम करते हैं. They have the best advisors. I still wonder if they also know this. Why are we even rushing towards EVs and killing the whole ecosystem of petrol and diesel?
See, if your energy dependency is on on this coal,
Fossil fuels.
then there is no point of rushing towards EV. Right now, Europe and some of the other countries, they have shifted to 100% renewable. If you get into that renewable, talk of solar, talk of hydrogen kind of a thing, then there is a good thing that, okay, I'm getting into that. At least the consumption is completely.
But is it fair to say that the developed nations had their run with the climate pollution maybe 2-3 decades back, and now when the developing nations, the global south, has energy needs, now the whole notion of carbon credits, all of these are imposed on.
Exactly, you are right. See, whole first, they call it first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, Europe and all this so-called developed nation create all sort of a pollution. Okay, now they are imposing a carbon tax on us right now. There's a new regulation is coming, CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, where you have to define your carbon emission if you want to send energy or metal. India is going to get big impacted. Iron steel constitute around 65% or 70%, 30% for the aluminum. And what Europe is saying that आप इतनी कार्बन फुटप्रिंट डिफाइन किया गया है आपके लिए, अगर आप उससे ज़्यादा लेके आते हो आपका प्रोडक्ट में, देन यू हैव टू पे द टैक्स. बट अगेन व्हाई यू डिड दैट फर्स्ट, अभी यू सब निकाल दिए, फिर अभी आप डेवलप्ड नेशन को बोले हो कि आप कार्बन टैक्स दो. इंडिया इज ऑपोजिंग इन ए बिग टाइम. But again, that may not. But again, there's another positive side to that. At least this point of time, people will think of get rid of this greenhouse gases based off fuel, all these things. Get into some sort of a cleaner energy. Get into the solar side. Get into the hydrogen side. That's it. That's a good thing is going to emerge.
Is hydrogen also green? Or I do understand there's a blue hydrogen, green hydrogen.
Yeah, those things are coming up. As long as you are creating hydrogen using renewable, it's green, right? There is no fun of creating hydrogen using grid power. Yes, that is coming up in a big time. That's coming up in a big time, and they are keeping. Say, I think ultimately they're creating these urea plants rather to store this hydrogen. But again, then it comes to the affordability. I'm sure the way the innovations are happening, the way the things are changing. Maybe next 3 to 4 years, right now the craze for EV cars, that will be for the hydrogen cars. Maybe into 5 years down the line.
So are there any competitors in your space in India for this
on the
kind of...
traceability side, there are a lot of company. But again, if you go beyond that, what you are tracing, how you are tracing, what is the technology element?
The actual use cases?
Yes, actual use cases. Right now we're dealing with around 35 global clients. You name the tire company, Michelin, Bridgestone, Pirelli, Apollo, Seat, then you Hankook, all the tire companies are with us.
Since you have worked as an investor earlier, do you take payments as a stock or fees
For?
from these companies with the tire
No,
company?
no. We are giving our no stock. we just mine for money. If you are tracing a 10 metric ton or 1,000 metric ton, pay me $10 per metric ton. That's my simple equation with this tire company. So it's so robust that the supply chain has to move through us. We know how much they are doing, how much they are selling. Ultimately, it will get validated using our platform.
So what are the patterns you have seen of people gaming the system, which in your early years, which you have figured out, oh yeah, ऐसे भी करते हैं? And then
See, physically, if someone wants to, we did a very nice case study in government of Odisha, Paddy. The simple starts from a rice mill. From rice mill, paddy goes to the state government godowns or to the BPL category, hostels, SC/ST hostel, schools, all these things. What they do, they remove the rice, put water, maintain the volume, maintain the weight, right? But again, you missed out on the humidity. Humidity changes. So what we did, we put a probe into that. Initially, when you going out of the rice mill, you know that humidity content, quantity, all these parameters, we record it. When it reaches to the final destination, we simply use a simple probe. And if there is a variation of more than 5%, then it will trigger a smart contract. It will alert all the authorities. Same thing. There is a defined route is defined for them. We track on the GPS. If it is getting diverted, then it will trigger. If it stays more than 20 minutes for a bio break or a food break, it will trigger. That way we do the complete robust mechanism. But again, there has to be intent to deploy this thing on the real field.
So in short, they have hired a detective. To make sure कि भाई फार्म से फैक्ट्री तक माल पहुंच रहा है नहीं पहुंच रहा.
Pure intent. But again, reality में क्या हुआ? After the POC, there is no intent to continue this thing. Because the whole value chain is...
there are other angles there.
Other angles are there. So that's the thing comes right now, what we are trying to do it for Uttar Pradesh government or the coffee, any of the things. The intent should be clear, clean, and it should remain. Then only the value are going to get created for anybody.
Probably the clearest intent you get is from businesses. They want to make money.
Yes.
And they need your
And see,
technology.
Technology is enabling this kind of a regulation to follow stricture. Think it of. If there is no EODR, there is no this kind of a data analytics and we don't have to upload the data, what would have been there? There should be some certificate agency, some government agency, they will just keep on giving the certificate. Abhi, what is happening? Abhi, the real sense mein. Apna data is self-validating this traceability and also validating the farmer profile as a low, medium and high risk. Supported by data sets. And if someone wants a blockchain, I'll just put a layer on the blockchain, give it to them. That's what we are working for the World Bank project.
So what you're saying is because of this traceability, maybe the scope for corruption and leakages also comes down?
Yes, that is one thing. And the second thing is that when you define a sustainability, without traceability, it has got no meaning. So what we are defining right now, sustainability through traceability. That's the thing. So if you can do any kind of a traceability, be it on a farmer को पैसा दिया गया, मिला, नहीं मिला, rightful amount got into his bank account or not, including that rightful quantity, proper quality measures have been done or not, all are function of traceability, right?
But if you're going against the system and fixing farmers' income, आपने बता दिया कि यार यहाँ अनफेयर हो रहा है, यहाँ पर इतने में फार्मर की पेमेंट इश्यू हुई थी, यहाँ इतने नहीं मिला है, जो बीच का जिसने पैसा खाया है, they will make sure that you are out of the system. Isn't that how it works? That's the reason गवर्नमेंट में ये चीज़ें नहीं चलती हैं, प्राइवेट में चलेंगे ये.
नहीं, दुनिया में सब कुछ चेंज हो रहा है, चेंज फॉर गुड. कि अभी आधार आने के बाद, डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर होने के बाद, ऑल दिस लीकेजेस आर स्टॉप्ड, राइट? प्राइवेट सेक्टर में भी कुछ हो सकता है, कोई somebody could have done that, but again it will not last
But
long.
in the agri sector, there is still middlemen and there is still leakage.
There is still leakage, there is a still middleman, there is still a corruption practice is happening.
Leakage is the new way of talking about corruption.
No, see ये होता है ना, सिंपल एग्जांपल व्हाट आई गेव इट टू यू, पीडीएस में राइस निकाल लिया, दो गनी बैग, पानी डाल दिए, वेट में तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा ना, and the quality निकाल दिया. So हाँ, yes, we do have also a broken percentage measurement उस समय. तो इनिशियली व्हेन द प्रोडक्ट गोज ना, उस समय उस सर्टिफिकेट में सब कुछ रहता है, वहाँ पर भी वो कैलकुलेट करते हैं कि रिसिप्ट कितना परसेंटेज ब्रोकेज है, उसमें एग्जाम्पल टेस्ट होता है. बट अगेन तो दैट्स टू स्टॉप इन द जो मिडवेयर में होता है ना, वो सब करप्शन रोकने के लिए. बट अगेन
So how entrenched are you in the whole supply chain? Do you have people on the ground or do you contract with other companies for supply chain?
we enable the things. First thing is that ground truthing what we do. That means जो फर्स्ट जो डेटा सेट लेते हैं, either we do directly or we deploy our third party trained people. इंडिया में हम तो डायरेक्ट कर लेते हैं, इंडोनेशिया में we give a training, अपना दो एग्जीक्यूटिव जाके ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, then they get trained, वो हम करते हैं. उसके बाद द सिस्टम्स वो प्रोसेस फॉलो करता है.
So process implementation is what you
What
focus
process
on.
and we made the thing. इसमें क्या होता है ना, so simple टेक्नोलॉजी को you have to make it so simple that it get connected with the people. आप वहाँ पर जाके एक लैपटॉप लेके बैठेंगे तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. इफ़ यू कैन एनेबल दैट विद ए सिंपल एंड्रॉयड फोन, दैट्स गोइंग टू वर्क. वही होता है. सो वी हैव मेड दैट थिंग सो सिंपल दैट इवन इन द एरिया वेयर देयर इज ए नेटवर्क और ए नो नेटवर्क, थिंग्स विल वर्क. सो यू कैप्चर द डेटा सेट्स. व्हेन यू कम टू ए वाईफाई नेटवर्क और ए 2G नेटवर्क, टक डेटा आ गया. सो यही
Can
होता
you
है.
give me an example of what, say, a rubber farmer has to enter into the phone or the app?
Rubber farmer has to do nothing. Rubber farmer initially he has to give a permission to map the area and give his document and place it that. That's the rubber farmer. When rubber farmer takes that same thing to the next level of aggregator, natural rubber aggregator, he has to acknowledge it in digitally. वो aggregator saying that मेरे को फार्मर ए से इतना क्वांटिटी का नेचुरल रबर मिला.
So the aggregator will use your
Use
app.
my app. So there's a called field force app, what we call it. That app will connect to the further to the aggregator, to the dealer, to the sub dealer, to the final. The final processor is going to look into that space. That उसके पास total console रहेगा. So what he'll do, ultimately he gets around, let's say 10 consignment, 10 different they call it GRN, goods receipt note, then aggregate करके he makes 100 metric ton. Once he do in the system, all the data get mixed up.
And what is the incentive for, say, the aggregator to adopt this process?
Aggregator is going to get a premium. Rubber में.
Okay, so I think profitability is integral to sustainability.
Exactly, obviously.
नहीं तो नहीं होगा.
नहीं तो नहीं होगा. Why
This
so?
reminds me of my 20 years back story. जब मैं US के client को सर्विस देता था, द बिगेस्ट कॉम्पिटिटर एडवांटेज विच आई यूज टू ऑफर वाज, सब लोग अपने हिसाब से सर्विस तो दे देते कि हम लोग भाई, आई वॉज इनटू SEO बिजनेस लाइक वेबसाइट ऑप्टिमाइजेशन एंड स्टफ. तो सारे क्लाइंट फ्रेंड्स सब लोग कुछ इस सर्विस का वी यूज टू चार्ज लाइक $10 फॉर सम सर्विस विच लाइक 1 hour. आई यूज टू चार्ज $100. और क्लाइंट पूछते थे कि हाउ कैन यू चार्ज 10 times कंपेयर टू द कॉम्पिटिशन. आई सेड इज ओनली वन थिंग विच आई कैन डू, दे कांट. आई डू अ स्क्रीन रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ द होल वर्क एंड आई सेंड इट टू यू, विच मीन्स आई हैव डन द वर्क. वाइल वो कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं आपको पता भी नहीं है. तो आप $10 पानी में फेंक रहे हो, वो है, वर्सेस यू पे मी 10 times बट आई विल एक्चुअली गेट द वर्क डन.
Exactly.
So that's proof of work which is being given to them.
Exactly, you got that. So proof of work which gives them a premium. Rubber में they get around $170 per ton as a premium. Even the $10 comes.
What is the percentage profit wise?
No, not profit wise. It's a kind of a percentage to the maybe 10 to 15% premium they get, and ultimately it will trickle down to the farmer. उसको नीचे में तो आएगा ना $10. अभी कॉफ़ी में भी वैसा ही हो रहा है. People are getting 1,500 rupees per kg as a premium.
Per kg?
Sorry, 1,500 rupees per ton as a premium. तो 15 रुपये आता है पर kg में.
That's pretty good.
And how much I ask? मैं बोलता हूँ 1 रुपये में कर दे दो भाई. They are happy. उनका सब कुछ दिखता है. And their work becomes so simple. See, जो फाइनल एक्सपोर्टर है कॉफ़ी का, he may be a good जस्ट लैपटॉप में यू डोंट हैव टू इंस्टॉल एनीथिंग, जस्ट कैन सी दैट क्या हो रहा है. And all the data is coming through 2G में. You create a consignment, upload into the export application. Done.
So you're looking at it at a wholesale business point of view. कि 1 रुपये पर KG, मतलब आप मुझे मंथली रिकरिंग बिजनेस पे आ जाओ.
सर बिजनेसमैन तो वही समझते हैं ना. मेरा जो फ़ायदा होता है मैं उसमें से आपको कुछ फ़ायदा दिलाऊंगा. तो मेरा से बेचने का वही है ना बस.
सो मैं अपने पॉडकास्ट में जब लोगों से बात करता हूँ, लाइक माय लास्ट पॉडकास्ट गेस्ट वाज वेनुस क्लोज फ्रेंड. उन्होंने अपने कॉलेज टाइम से अपने कैरियर पे ही जो फोकस करना था, प्लानिंग, इंटीरियर रिलेटेड स्टफ, अभी भी वही कर रहे हैं. आपने पढ़ाई एक की, जॉब किया ऑलमोस्ट 20 years आई गेस, एंड देन यू स्टार्टेड योर ओन बिजनेस. इतना रिस्क लेने का मतलब कैसे जागा आपको कि भाई ले ही लेता हूँ रिस्क? या लाइफ मेड यू टेक दैट रूट?
Yeah, life made me in that route, and I believe on one thing. If you give 100% ना of your and you believe on yourself, ना कभी तो आएगा.
क्रैक हो ही जाएंगे चीज़ें.
क्रैक हो ही जाएगा. I was 100% confident. See, the biggest obstruction आता है ना, sorry, from your family. They will never encourage you. अरे ज़िंदगी में ख़ानदान में कोई नहीं बिजनेस किया, तू क्या कर लेगा, खाक कर लेगा. We know you, you तो उड़ाते रहता है. मैं बोला that उड़ाने का I need to have always the latest iPhone. पैसा हो ना हो, but again that drives me to earn money, right?
शौक बड़ी चीज़ है.
शौक बड़ी चीज़ है.
और शौक होना भी चाहिए.
होना भी चाहिए.
हर जगह पे अगर इंसान बोलता है ना कि यार बहुत है, बस है, अब मेरे को आईफोन क्यों खरीदना, 10,000 के फ़ोन में भी वही काम हो रहा है, तो क्यों खरीदना यार? अगर आप शौक लगाओगे नहीं गाड़ी खरीदने गए तो आप पूरी ज़िंदगी पैदल ही चलने वाले हो.
Exactly.
कुछ तो.
You're talking about middle class aspirations.
No, but many people kill those aspirations thinking that it's out of reach.
They'll always be black sheep.
I mean, you have to dream to achieve something.
So वही होता है ना. Just you look back when I got just 2 people in TRST01. Now I look at it. I got 300 people.
Wow.
I got 700 people working indirectly globally. When I was running for 5 lakhs rupees का जो बन होता था, it has gone up to more than to 1.5 crores per month. ठीक है. So you get
So
into
from
that.
Taking a paycheck on a monthly basis to getting to own business of zero income to negative initial days to again bouncing back. How has been the whole journey like? सबसे वर्स्ट पार्ट कौन सा दिन थे? मतलब कब जब शुरुआत की तभी दुख देखा आपने, या उसके बाद भी तकलीफें आई हैं?
नहीं, बाद में भी तकलीफें आई हैं.
Which is normal, like business में तो ये होता ही है.
ऊपर नीचे होता है. At a point of time, I have nothing. Everything was placed and everything was done. I went to my friends. I got a very good friend जो कि स्कूल बचपन के दोस्त हैं ना, चड्डी बड्डी दोस्त बोलते हैं. I said, boss, this is my idea and I want to make it big. If you believe on me, can you write me a 10 lakhs का check? 24 hours में I got a 2 crore rupees का चेक मेरे अकाउंट में. बिजनेस चालू नहीं हुआ है, कंपनी जस्ट फॉर्म हुई है. That's the beginning. Right now, around a month before, we are doing a complete big thing. India is becoming the whole holding company. We are acquiring Singapore. Singapore is becoming the global holding company for all this downstream companies. I had an EGM. I said, think it of what valuation you have given. उस समय विदाउट एनीथिंग आई सेड 4 करोड़ का वैल्यूएशन में, जिसको पैसा डालना है डालो इक्विटी में और CCPS में. CCPS क्या बोलते हैं, कंपलसरी कन्वर्टेबल प्रेफरेंशियल शेयर. उसमें क्या होता है ना, देयर इज ऑप्शन दैट यू कैन एग्जिट आफ्टर 2 year और 3 year, टेक योर इंटरेस्ट एंड गो बैक. जिसको बिलीव है डालो इसमें, जिसको नहीं बिलीव है, सम पीपल पुट इन इक्विटी, सम पीपल चला ये क्या करेगा, चलो तो इंटरेस्ट तो मिल जाएगा 10 टका 12 टका. नेक्स्ट ईयर व्हेन द स्टोरी बिकम बिट बिगर, आई सेड यू हैव गॉट अ चांस टू टेक बैक योर मनी और convert into equity. Everyone converted into equity. Now, looking back, and 25th of November, we had a EGM. I called for the complete shareholder meeting. I said that this is the way we are creating a bigger impact. From a 4 crore rupees valuation, $500,000 अभी का value में. Right now, I'm talking about $70 million valuation.
Wow. How many years?
2.5, 3?
2020 हाँ 4 साल 3.5 4 साल हुआ.
पोस्ट कोविड.
$70 million वैल्यूएशन. everyone is happy. So actually, I need a board resolution to acquire that company and get Manoj into our company. All these things. So the story become big.
So have you taken funding from outside?
Not now, till now. I have raised totally. Government has given us some money. METI, Ministry of Electronics and Technology, they have funded us and good. Totally, I have taken around 8 crore rupees market. All are in equity right now, maximum around 8 crore rupees. If you calculate on that, $65 means $1.2 million. I have not taken any money. Right now, we are raising a big round. We are almost getting closer to $70-80 million. We will be diluting. But again, see, that story has... People started right now, family started believing on you. Friends have started believing on you. यार ये तो कुछ तो कर रहा है. कुछ तो कर रहा है, कुछ तो noise कर रहा है. That's how.
So आपके पूरे family या circle जो बोलते हैं, परिवार का circle, they are all into jobs? Like
everyone is into.
And that's a big challenge for someone coming from jobs to business background.
My grandfather was working for Andhra Pradesh government.
Okay.
My father was working with Steel Authority of India.
Oh.
My uncle was working for Steel Authority of India. My mama side, both are a banker. And my sister and their husband, everyone is into jobs. And if you दूर दूर तक देखो कोई भी धंधा नहीं कर रहा.
सब लोग जॉब में सेल कर रहे थे. सेल से चार्टर्ड बैंक से खुद का बिजनेस करना.
You must have had a very tough time explaining yourself to family, relatives, what you're doing in those early years.
Yeah, that is true. But again, अभी क्या है ना, वो पूछते नहीं है क्या कुछ तो कर रहा है.
अभी तो कोई नहीं पूछेगा.
कुछ तो कर रहा है. Even my mother didn't know that I run a software company. So she keep on asking. उसकी friend पूछते रहते हैं क्या कर रहा है तेरा? कुछ तो कर रहा है. Okay. Then I said, why you are saying कुछ तो कर रहा है? बोलो सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी चला रहा है. अरे तू तो कभी सॉफ्टवेयर पढ़ा नहीं.
जितने इंडिया में होटल हैं वो खाना बनाना नहीं आता है, होटल चलाना आता है. हमें चलाने से मतलब है ना.
हमें चलाने से मेरे को दिमाग लगाना जरूरत नहीं है. मेरा CTO है ना, वो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर है और पूरा सारे गैंग है. हैदराबाद में 110 people are in software engineer. Let's go to. But again, अभी for last couple of months, it's another thing I want to highlight. इसमें ना क्या होता है, we started with so many people. I started with the initial founder, Puru, Suraj. They have given a good help to get into this level. But again, that the growth story जब आया ना, वो मनोज के थ्रू आया. मनोज is, so we become a kind of a, see ये होता है ना,
meeting of minds,
meeting of thought process and taking the responsibility. What he is doing, what I am doing. So that the synergy होता है, resonance जो होता है, complementing each other, that creates a bigger bunch. That's how the things explode. Otherwise, there is nothing. So I say, see, it's Manoj. You are trying for last so many years. He has got certain business. I was trying for so many years. But again, ये जो होता है ना, लक भी एक फैक्टर होता है, ब्लेसिंग भी एक फैक्टर होता है. आई कीप ऑन बिलीविंग ऑल दोस invisible things or invisible connection which makes your life.
So how did you meet Manoj?
हाँ, मनोज को मिला through again one common friend. So because we are doing a lot of use cases on blockchain, so there was a blockchain company from Hyderabad, and the founder KC came to me and said that we want to do certain use cases. We are talking of all this sustainability, climate tech side. He said, Prabir, I'll introduce you to one of the person, and I think there are two person, Raghunathan and this gentleman called Mahesh Ramanujan. Mahesh Ramanujan, we don't have any past connection or anything. Just Casey introduced to me Mahesh Ramanujan. He is coming from the US Green Building Council. He was the chairman. He got all the LEED certificate, the green building. So he was the CEO and the chairman, MD and the chairman for last so many years. He is a sustainable guy. He is a sustainable tech guy. He is an amazing person. We got into conversation like this. So he said, Prabir, I want to talk to you. So we got into a Teams call. It was a half an hour call stretched up to 3 hours. And see, ये होता है ना, एक flow में बैठ जाता है. What is your thought process? क्या होता है? क्या sustainability? Amazing things. Manoj knows, Manoj and Mahesh Ramanujan, they also know each other because they are the common investor in this tech company. Then Manoj was looking for a company to acquire who can do the tech translation, all these things. Then Mahesh said, Manoj, why don't you look into Prabir? They got a tech platform, everything is ready, but again, they are looking for next growth. And you have got a story, you can just tie together. That's the thing. Manoj invited me and Suraj, my other co-founder. We went there. 2 days में we finalize everything. Then we come back. चलो फिर चलते हैं. अभी तो things become
very interesting.
So right now we, in fact, Manoj and me, we start our day. He is in Singapore. Obviously, he starts at 2.5 hours early. So 5:30 onwards, we are on constant phone, guiding, navigating. See, when you are in a growth stage of the company, a lot of challenges, this thing, that thing keep on coming. We're navigating that side.
So jobs time you used to sleep at 3, now you wake up at 3 or 5:30 for the business.
Abhi kabhi I can wake up. So it's a kind of it's not a kind of a particular sleeping time. Yes, I try to go to bed early. I wake up at midnight. And if I got something pressing, then I have to close that. I also keep on writing some of the blogs and other things. I finish that, again go to sleep, again I get up. So, chalo, it's priority has become shifted to something else, creating a bigger thing and retaining that big thing. So every day is a new challenge, every day is a new thing.
So how did you take the step of सिर्फ 2 दिन किसी नए इंसान से मिलके आपने पार्टनरशिप शुरू कर ली? मनोज की ही बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Was it that quick?
Yeah, it was. 2 दिन मिला नहीं था. Yes, it is a kind of we spoke for a couple of hours. Then he invited us to Singapore. Then we decided that. इसमें क्या होता है ना? I think I believe on that. I don't know whether I am right or wrong. The first impression is that lasting impression. एक चीज़ कुछ पहले पसंद आ जाए तो चलो उसको ही ले लेते हैं.
बट बहुत बार उसमें गलती भी होती है. प्यार में होती है. लोगों की
all these things होते हैं. लव एट फर्स्ट साइट में बहुत सारे मुश्किल टिक गया.
बिकॉज आई हैव बीन इन द बिजनेस साइड और मैं काफ़ी रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर्स को जानता हूँ जो हमें फर्स्ट मीटिंग में तो बहुत सपने चिपका देते हैं और दर्द उसके बाद वाली मीटिंग्स में होती है. तो मैं इसलिए शॉक्ड हूँ कि हाउ डिड एंड अप.
वो तो आपको बेच देते हैं ना.
They probably had something to sell, but maybe in this case you are not selling to each other, but it was more of a meeting of minds and
meeting of the
ideas.
Minds. See, meeting of the ideas.
Or maybe like he wanted something, you had something which he wanted.
Yeah. What Manoj sold me, the bigger picture.
Southeast Asia picture.
Southeast Asia picture and the rubber picture and before that we were blank.
You are looking for use cases.
Use cases. And I believe on that. I take people pretty easy and believe on that. I believe that whatever Manoj is saying, that's the truth. And that's the truth factor, of course, we are realizing till now. And there's a bigger thing which is evolving right now. So the commodity is the first. We are getting into food in a big time, pharma into big time. But again, the theme is getting developed right now. What I say that? Traceability, sustainability through traceability. That's the core. And we want to remain in that position.
So I have a question on this context. जब आप बता रहे हो traceability, that word is hitting me back to back. जब आपने अभी बोला फार्मा, मैं प्रेज्यूम कर रहा हूँ कि इंडिया में या पूरे वर्ल्ड में फार्मा इंडस्ट्री इज प्रेटी मच क्लीन एंड वी आर होपिंग दैट देयर इज नॉट मच ऑफ ए चीटिंग हैपनिंग. जब वो दवाई बोलते हैं ये दवाई है तो वो प्रॉपर चैनल के थ्रू कहीं गलत होता नहीं है. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू फूड नहीं, isn't it that how it is? Like pharma industry should be clean.
तुम बहुत बोले हो. Maybe you can add some light.
Yeah.
एंड रॉ इंडस्ट्री मतलब फूड हो गया, वेजिटेबल्स हो गया, यहाँ पे माल प्रैक्टिस होता है, चीज़ें बदलती हैं.
फार्मा में भी बहुत चीटिंग होती है.
Okay.
See, pharma, if you know or don't know, let me tell you, there's something called as a regulated market. There's something called as an unregulated market. In India, we are in a typical position. We produce, regulated market is for the Europe and US.
FDA and all that
FDA
stuff.
approved.
FDA approved is a Food and Drug Administration approved. When you talk about the regulated market, they need every detail of that what you are doing, how you are creating, including your labels, your plastic, your ink, उसमें जो लिखा रहता है, including paper, where you are sourcing, you have to give that detail. And that we prepare it here in Hyderabad, send it to Europe, US. Unregulated market is that with the third world market, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Africa, we don't have a proper regulation. Unregulated market, you can do anything, sell it anywhere.
But Aurobindo, Dr. Reddy's,
They are not selling anything in India. Aurobindo is not selling anything in India.
Okay.
They are selling it for the regulated market. Dr. Reddy has got two things. Regulated market, they prepare something. For unregulated market, they prepare something. Go to any of the pharma facility. Those who are manufacturing for US and Europe. See the
Standards are quite
standard, the monitoring, the audit. Go to Bhawanpally and see the Indian pharma company. अंदर कुत्ता भी घूम रहा होगा. Dirty. Apart from that, क्या बोलते हैं? That head
मास्क लगाते हैं,
लगा
सर
के
पे कैप पहनते
कुछ नहीं है. And it's just, and because we are treated like a.
तो इसका मतलब तो ये हो कि दवाइयाँ भी वहाँ से मंगवा के खा लें, वो बेटर है. अगर बेटर चाहिए
But
चीज़ें.
see, there's a cost element that
Recently I was in Dubai. I got some जो gas का common tablet. Pandy. How much we get it for? 30 rupees or 40 rupees? I have to pay 120 dirham.
Wow, 2400.
2400 for that same thing.
क्योंकि वो यूएस से मंगवाते हैं.
वो तो यूएस से मंगाते हैं या यूरोप से आती है. That's the difference. So यहाँ पर we need that cost of healthcare is so cheap because we are unregulated.
So पैंडी के साथ कोई और एलर्जी ना हो उसकी गोली खा लो, क्योंकि हमारी बहुत.
उसके बाद से एक लर्निंग है. मैं बोला यार लेके जाता हूँ. Every time I carry my medicine. कुछ भी हो सकता है, right? डोलो टू 650 कॉमन
10-15 रुपए की मिलती है स्ट्रिप.
Go and ask for Dolo 60. एक तो मिलेगा नहीं. Then you have to say that paracetamol. They'll give you a minimum 50 या 100 dirham होगा दुबई में.
Wow.
So that's the difference. So again, that's the regulatory market. We have got a good opportunity getting into the traceability.
In the regulatory market or the unregulated?
Unregulated one, no one cares, sir.
मेरा वही सवाल था. Why would the unregulatory market want someone to come and trace and tell that boss तुम गलत कर रहे हो? वो तो उनका धंधा चल रहा है.
काम on the affordability.
हाँ.
Affordability आती है ना. If you are using a technology, I can give you that your organic product complete traceability. If that guy is ready to give me a 5 rupees per packet,
No.
वो बोलेगा मेरा जो सेल्फ में रख रहा हूँ ना, अगर फ्रंट में रख रहा हूँ मेरा कॉस्ट है 60%, पीछे में पड़ा रहेगा 30%. ऑब्वियसली 30% रिस्क आई कैन टेक, राइट. मैं तो 60% मार्जिन वाले में रखूँगा. तो उसका तो गया. उसका अल्टीमेटली एनी ऑफ द फूड प्रोडक्ट, व्हाट इज द बॉटम लाइन मार्जिन यू आर क्रिएटिंग? What you are seeing this now, let's say you are a startup, you are doing something excellent in millet. Go to Reliance, go to anywhere. You say that I need a placement like this so that people can see that. They say that you pay me premium. Placement cost is different.
True.
अगर आप पे प्रीमियम करोगे, आपको मार्केट में भी पुश करना है, तो बचेगा क्या?
So discoverability of a product is also a challenge.
That's a big challenge. That's a big challenge.
So do you see more opportunity in the online quick commerce space where discoverability is not a challenge, like in retail?
See, what I'm looking for, not a kind of a small proposition. I'm looking for a volume. If Big Basket is adopting me, then I'll be getting into there. I'm not going to tie up with any small brand. Actually, these are the learnings which has come. So if you just do a small क्या बोलते हैं ब्रांड को, you just do a traceability, you will be not visible anywhere. Now you become a kind of a that sort of a scale up model where people start to look for you.
You connect with aggregators. That is the bigger.
Last 4 months में अभी क्या हुआ, UDR has got delayed by couple of months another. Before that, in under UDR में 25,000 metric tons of rubber has moved in our platform. I tell you, globally there are 4 companies who are working on this: Coltiva, Farm Force, Agridance, TRST01, and Osapian. 5 companies. Only TRST01, a small company from Hyderabad, has got this much volume.
So there's a lot of headroom for growth.
Lot of headroom. On the month of July, I peaked my revenue $1.2 million.
Okay.
Then there is a bit of a slowness come. अभी तो थोड़ा कम हो गया because the regulation, see, ultimately regulation push for anything. Regulation is got delayed by 1 year. So why should people spend on a technology? But again, we're not stopping here. We're getting into a lot of new value addition. So regulation is one aspect. The other aspect remains the risk. So we are getting into this rice traceability. We are getting into the premium GI tag product from India going abroad. Those kind of a traceability. We are getting into cashew nut traceability. We are getting into cocoa traceability. Now the opportunities are opening up. Now, of course, initial, I would say the world's first sustainable supply chain regulation is UDR, and with the 7 specific commodities. Right now, it's going to open up for pharma food in a big way. Think of a small example. You heard of this pager blast everywhere. Lebanon mein. If there is a traceability would have been there, life would have been saved. We know that where it is coming from.
And are the government policies also helping, in a sense, one district, one product?
Yeah, in fact, we are working on that. My team is working on, say, one district ODOP is coming. Now, government is defining the 22 high yield GI rice, which has got a good global value. They are putting into a complete traceability. So there's a lot of government initiatives that are coming up. There's a new airport came up near Uttar Pradesh. They are focusing a big logistic hub from there.
Okay.
And export to other countries. Indian mango, Uttar Pradesh mango, Andhra Pradesh mango. They have got a high demand. Why don't you create a traceability? In 2020, we created a traceability for the first mango called Ullava Padu mango. Somewhere in Hyderabad nearby, somewhere in Andhra Pradesh. Created a traceability. Think of Europe is importing mango. Obviously, if you can provide that traceability and also you can rewrite the impact story, how is the big value
You're
proposition?
part of the Brand India story.
Brand India story.
But isn't that also a problem to the middleman, the supplier? See, सप्लाई चेन में कैसे होता है, एक तो फार्मर होते हैं जो बड़े स्केल पे मैंगो काट के अपना बीज उगा के जो भी है प्लांटेशन कर रहे हैं. एक हो गए एक्सपोर्टर्स जो यहाँ से माल लेकर यूरोप बेच रहे हैं. यूरोपियन कंपनी को पता चल गया कि भाई फार्मर कहाँ से कौन सा है, वो इसको हटा देंगे, बीच वाले को बोलेंगे हम डायरेक्ट माल ले लेंगे.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. ऐसा नहीं होता.
Scale maybe it's a scale problem.
Scale problem. Yeah, there could be some pocket में ऐसा होता है. But again, see अभी
I'm just trying to figure out.
No, you are right on that. You know the McD's chips. The potato chips, French fries, what we eat, and that has to be certain size. So McD is benefiting certain farmer in Uttar Pradesh and that Dehradun area to grow that kind of things. People are getting benefited. But again, when we talk of the complete ecosystem, middlemen's, where the value should come to the farmer ultimately, right? अभी क्या हो रहा है, middleman is taking that in a bigger way. So इसमें yes, today or tomorrow this has to come.
Right.
See all the agri-tech innovation in India, the first people got affected are the middlemen. Talk about the crop-in, talk about the agrostar, talk about any of the dehat right now, because they are connecting with the farmer and farmer realization is going up.
Right.
So are we so much sensitive towards the middleman? They have to find out another solution for that.
Slowly, tech will displace.
Tech will displace 2x. Even 2 years before also, I've seen this in Nasik area. We grow a lot of angur, grapes. The complete plant automation, the field automation are done. It will measure the humidity and it will spray the water. It will also detect any insect. Then it will do the pesticide fumigation. Drone is coming into that. India may have adopted so much of drone didi ke through. Things are getting into. See, these are the technology which are enabling good thing. Now, I feel, I'm maybe not 100% right, there is a shift of this thing going back towards the farming, in a scientific way, betterment way, and getting that people are leaving their highly paid job and getting into the back to the
Isn't that also putting them into more data? Like खेती-बाड़ी करने से ज़्यादा तो अब दिमाग फ़ोन पे लगाओ, ऐप्स पे लगाओ, मतलब इन ए पॉजिटिव वे तो हम हर चीज़ को समझ सकते हैं. थोड़ा आप ये सोचो कि जो खेड़ू में क्यों बोल रहा हूँ पता नहीं, बट खेती करने वाले जो होते हैं, फार्मर होते हैं, उनका काम, उनको मेहनत करना आता था. अब उनको फोर्सफुली ये सब चीज़ों में दिमाग लगाना पड़ रहा है. क्योंकि मैं रिसेंटली अपने गांव गया था, वहाँ भी उनसे बात करूँ तो बोलते हैं अब तो हम कुछ नहीं करते, वो ड्रोन वाला आता है, वो दवाई डाल के चला जाता है, हमें तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है, हम ऐप पे बुला लेते हैं बंदे को, वो काम हो जाता है. तो
but again
it's a shift.
it's a shift for the good. I feel that way.
But it might work only for farmers like the US who are managing 100 acres, 200 acres, not for micro farmers.
No, that is true. You are true. That may or may not work. But again, it's making a other way. If you look at that, it's making a farmer life bit easy, and also giving them a higher output or the realization. See,
But not higher output. It's just that पहले वो जो कमाता था उसके पास आ रहा है, अभी पैसा ज़्यादा आ रहा है, बट उतना ही बांटना भी वैसे भी पड़ रहा है उसको. ऐसा नहीं है कि सीधा ही उसको आ
There's
रहा है.
also a labor problem, farm labor problem that maybe forces consolidation into bigger parcels and.
I'll just give a simple example. Pomegranate grown pretty big in Maharashtra side. Right now, also this they call it apple bear or something. The new guava that Indonesia, Thailand guava people are growing. Now, simple example of that pomegranate. Now, this farmer is growing in 100 hectare. So there's a FPO who are doing at the half of the production level. The AI detects that what is that pomegranate output is going to be, what is the quality parameter, they are getting that money. And the total crop is getting sold beforehand it gets. So that's a kind of an advantage for right. And you are getting that right amount of money. So some importer from US is buying your product sitting here and you are getting a better relation. Obviously, it's a good income for the farmer. But again, we have to come out of that mindset that farmer has to be traditionally वो खेती चलाने वाला, हल चलाने वाला. It has to move up.
So you're saying that is changing? Today, small farms or small farmers probably.
बट ये फोर्सफुली भी तो
easier.
जिसको नहीं समझ में आता उसको भी फोर्सफुली टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करना पड़ रहा है ना.
ना उसमें क्या है देखिए, हाँ क्या हो रहा है अभी गांव में पहले हल चलाते थे, अभी देयर आर 2 or 5 ट्रैक्टर्स आर देयर. तो इनका काम आसान हो रहा है, राइट, फास्ट हो रहा है. वेदर प्रेडिक्शन मॉडल उधर लगा रहे हैं. दे नो दैट माइक्रो वेदर क्या होने वाला है नेक्स्ट 4-5 डेज में. सो थोड़ा तो शिफ्ट हो रहा है. दिस काइंड ऑफ ए शिफ्ट आल्सो फॉर द बेटरमेंट आल्सो हो रहा है. बट अगेन आई फील फॉर लास्ट कपल ऑफ ईयर्स 4-5 ईयर्स में जो लेवल ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी गेटिंग इनटू द फार्म इज इंक्रीजिंग एंड दैट्स गुड फॉर एवरीवन आई थिंक.
आई मीन माई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वॉज ओनली इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट कि भाई जितना हम लोग सोशल मीडिया सिटी में बैठे बैठे सिर्फ टाइम पास के चक्कर में पहले स्पोर्ट्स खेलते थे 20 साल पहले 10 साल पहले क्रिकेट
बाहर नहीं जाते हैं.
अब हम घर के बाहर ही नहीं, पूरे टाइम यही हमारा एंटरटेनमेंट है. अब फार्मर लोगों का भी यही हो गया ज़िंदगी. वो जैसे ही फैमिली ग्रुप से बाहर आते हैं, कल बारिश का मौसम है, ट्रैक्टर वाला नहीं आ रहा है, ये है वो है, सारा फार्म
मैकेनाइज्ड हो गया. हाँ, एक मैकेनाइज्ड हो गया.
हाँ.
Farmers also have to change with the times, I guess. It's a forced change maybe in a way. क्योंकि if they don't do that, maybe they can't compete.
True. I mean, I feel that if US markets, what happens is farmers, which I want Indians to also do that, farmers have become smaller and smaller. मतलब छोटे ज़मीन कर रहे, they should actually go big now. Again, go back to 100 acres managed by one person.
Consolidation हो रहा है, but not maybe as one person, but maybe as a company.
वो कॉर्पोरेट लेवल से कंसोलिडेशन हो रहा है. वो क्या कर रहे हैं, आपका टोटल 100 हेक्टर 200 हेक्टर ले लेंगे, वो कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन हो रहा है. उसमें भी मे बी एडवांटेज कम होगा, डिसएडवांटेज ज़्यादा है.
But that was
Why
a
do you
farm
say-
law that was repealed or something, right?
Yeah.
Now, why do you say there is a disadvantage in corporate management?
Because then you are subject to get into a kind of extortion, right? मैं ये प्रोड्यूस करूँगा और आपको जितना प्रोड्यूस होगा उतना वो पैसा जितना देना है दूंगा, नहीं तो नहीं. सो इट्स ए काइंड ऑफ ये आ रहा है ना एक्सट्रक्शन, स्ट्रॉन्गर मिडिलमैन in form of a corporate guy.
But then it's more managed also. आप अकेले कर रहे थे पहले, जो कर रहे थे प्रॉफिट आया तो भी अच्छा था, नुकसान हुआ तो भी आपको हो रहा था. यहाँ तो कंपनी है तो पढ़े लिखे लोग संभालेंगे, प्रॉपर नंबर्स, एटलीस्ट मिनिमम नंबर तो गारंटी रहेगा ही रहेगा।
वो सही है, लेकिन अभी क्या होता है, देखिए सिंपल एग्जांपल, टमाटो कभी 50 पैसे से 50 रुपया या 100 रुपया तक जाता है, तो व्हेन
प्राइस फ्लक्चुएशन
होता है, बट अगेन व्हेन दिस कॉन्ट्रैक्टर गेट इनटू दैट, कॉर्पोरेट कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, दे गेट इनटू दे फिक्स 35 rupees price for you. When the 100 rupees realization is there in the market, this farmer feel that they have cheated.
But when it is 1 rupee also, he is getting 35, right?
सर मेरे को तो मतलब है पैसा ज़्यादा कितना मिले।
मेरे को जब आप 50 पैसा और 50 रुपये बोले, मेरे दिमाग में एक बिटकॉइन ही घूम रहा था।
नहीं, बिकॉज आई फील ये बात जो आप बता रहे हो, मुझे काफ़ी बार लगता है कि इट्स मोर फेयर टू द फार्मर, बिकॉज अगर मार्केट नीचे भी है तो भी फार्मर को तो वही रेट मिल रहा है।
दैट इज़ द फीलिंग ऑफ योर्स, बट इन रियलिटी में क्या होता है, उसका नेबर जो हु इज़ नॉट ए पार्ट ऑफ दैट, ही गेट 100 rupees, दिस गाय इज गेटिंग 35 rupees, उसको तो लगेगा ना। साइमल्टेनियस सेम थिंग होता है, उसको जो 50 पैसे मिलता है, इसको 35 rupees मिलता है, तो वो भी तो सेम फीलिंग होता है। बट अगेन
it depends on volume also.
If
it's a bigger piece of land, then he would definitely love to go under a managed system jahan pe at least numbers are clarified.
See, the thing is that what is driving right now, yes, agriculture, sustainability is going to drive the future things in a big time.
Where do you see as an opportunity for the next generation? आप जो काम कर रहे हो उसके अलावा कहाँ पर अपॉर्चुनिटी लगता है? मे बी फॉर फार्मिंग साइड, मे बी फॉर एनीथिंग सस्टेनेबिलिटी, वेयर समवन शुड एंटर। आई एम कम्प्लीटली फ्री, मुझे आप क्या बोल सकते हो, नया बिजनेस किस में घुस सकता हूँ?
Sustainability is going to stay here for next 30-40 years. Okay, a lot of innovations are happening. See, just defining, saying that I am a sustainable company without measuring, without
being
knowing
actually
what
sustainable.
being actually sustainable. A lot of things are there. See, when you talk about the sustainable, what form of sustainable are you in? What is that measurement of that sustainability? Are you getting into same question of environment, or only you are talking of the environment, or also on the social side, also on the economic side? If you create such a huge infrastructure, you have 100 stories to, then side में एक sustainable garden बना के, Miyawaki garden बना के, they will say that कि we are creating oxygen for you.
Reminds me of a project in हैदराबाद जिन्होंने बोला कि हम, न्यूज़ में था हर जगह कोविड से, कि तेलंगाना का सबसे बड़ा मियावाकी फॉरेस्ट बनाया है।
दैट हम नहीं कराया, दैट उसमें एक टोटल मेजरमेंट टूल हम नहीं दिया था। सो देन नो कमेंट्स। नो, हमने दिया था कि हाउ टू मेजर दैट, हाउ मच इज द कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेशन इज हैपनिंग, दैट्स द साइंस पार्ट ऑफ इट, राइट? सी, सिंपल, एक प्लांट में कैसे कार्बन आता है, इट गेट्स इनटू सिंपल टू द बोन डेंसिटी. When a Miyawaki you are talking of, the concept of Miyawaki is that you are creating a 10x denser forest than the rainforest in that area. And but again, how you measure it? So there are various species of plants. Each plants absorb the carbon in a different way. After 3 years, we just measure the breadth of the and find out how much is the diameter. Each of the plant species has got certain carbon absorption potential. Then we calculate. That's the complete analytics tool what we have provided. It's not much. After 10 years, that the Miyawaki plant is going to absorb 8,000 metric ton of carbon dioxide every year. That's a big number. And you are beside the airport. So yeah, there is a tools are available. Miyawaki is the best practice. So that's a kind of a urban.
But Miyawaki on 100 square feet.
और
फॉरेस्ट के नाम पे अगर कोई बोलता है, मैं वही बात बोल रहा था, सस्टेनेबिलिटी नाम पे बोला जाता है कि हम फॉरेस्ट बना रहे हैं, 1000 गज के प्लॉट के पीछे 100 गज के ऊपर हम फॉरेस्ट बनाएंगे। 100 गज का फॉरेस्ट क्या होता है, मुझे वो लॉजिक समझ में नहीं आती है। तो वही बात होगी जो आप बता रहे थे कि एक 100 फ्लोर के टावर बना दो, उसके बगल में एक छोटा सा गार्डन बना के बोले कि वी आर सस्टेनेबल। आप बिहाइंड ये सब छुपा रहे हो, बस यू आर जस्ट शोइंग दिस पार्ट।
सो दे से दैट ना 1:8 रेशियो, दैट 8 इज योर ओपन स्पेस, ग्रीन,
80% ओपन स्पेस,
80% ओपन स्पेस, उसमें आप गोल्फ कर चलाते हो, उसमें ऑल दिस पानी डालते हो, विच आर अगेन पंप से आती है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। आई डोंट नो, बट अगेन सी, yes, sustainability is emerging, and there is a very fine print between what is sustainable and what is not.
What is shown sustainable versus what is actually sustainable.
So yeah, supply chain is, you know, this is the fact. Globally, 65% to 98% of the carbon footprints are generated from the supply chain side. It depends from industry to industry. Okay. Now, when this is such a massive carbon footprint is getting generated, there's a huge scope of cleaning this supply chain. There's a huge scope of innovation out here. That is what is required. There's a lot of opportunities. Talk about the calculation, talk about that measurement tools, talk about that monitoring tool, talk about that suggesting what should be the better way. There's a lot of AI element is coming. I'll tell you, we are using one in proprietary AI tool where we can analyze any size of land, what is deforested or what is shredded, what is not shredded, up to the level of 0.000% of accuracy.
Wow.
So ITC tested us on us. They give a sample place. We give them 0.00047% was shredded from I think 3,000 hectare of land.
Meaning you're able to determine how much of forest was
Destroyed.
For this, do you need satellite time lapse?
Yeah, we take the satellite time
imaging?
lapse. We have got our in-house analytics. We take a lot of parameters like moisture index, vegetation index, and soil index, land change, land LULC they call it. All those parameters we take and analyze. And this is a kind of an algorithm, machine learning, which keeps on improving. We can get into that. So what I mean to say, the new age technology has got a good potential to define your sustainability in more accurate way.
Prabir ji, I have a very different kind of question. स्टैंडर्ड चार्टर्ड बैंक बोला आपने, ये सब बोला, अब आप कंप्लीटली अलग टाइप के ही वर्ड्स में घुस गए हो. सस्टेनेबल की पूरी फैमिली की डिक्शनरी खोल के बैठे हो आप. हाउ डिड दैट इवॉल्व इन योर माइंड, लाइक यू नो कि I'll start my own business and it will be something around this.
It's such a niche area that no one even knows that a business can be made out of it.
And then you're talking about millions of dollars of business out of it. तो how was that cracked? Like होता है ना कि यार जैसे ऐसा भी नहीं है कि बचपन से आपने वो कीड़ा था कि सस्टेनेबल, ये सब तो आपने दिल्ली, मुंबई, कोलकाता में तो कहीं देखा ही नहीं होगा. फॉर सम रीज़न ये सिटीज़ में तो सस्टेनेबिलिटी की तो बात ही ना करें, तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है. तो हाउ डिड दैट कम्प्लीटली ट्रांसफॉर्म? लाइक आपने सोचा कि मेरे को जॉब नहीं करना है भाई, धंधा करना है, बट ये करना है बोल के कैसे सूझा?
नहीं, ये करने का सी दिस इज दैट पोजीशन व्हाट वी आर राइट नाउ. अभी जो हम
हाँ मतलब बिजनेस में तो वैसे तो यू एंड अप.
हाँ ओ
हाउ डिड यू स्टार्ट ऑफ विद द पाइवट कि मुझे ये करना है?
Okay, we are doing one traceability project near to airport who is producing a lot of lettuce. Not at all sustainable way. Lettuce and green leaves, you know, those cabbages, purple color.
Show off salad, समझ गया मैं.
Salads. They say it's organic.
Fancy salad pack करो और बेचो.
I said this is not at all organic. You put chemical and you know that there is a marriage and you need a order. You can even grow in 5 days time and it can take 25 days time. You just put some growth
hormones and boosters आते हैं.
वो पूरा वाटर में ही होता है. There is no soil.
Hydroponic, pumped booster.
But again उसके पास ना around 100 acres of farm. One side तो he is doing all this क्या बोलते हैं thing.
I don't want to say the name. I'm simply trying to hide it, but yeah.
And other side, they have got a huge cattle farm. So उसमें क्या करते हैं, around they have got more than 200 cows and गोबर से biogas बनाते हैं. And they have got a huge balloon of biogas plant and they no electricity purchased from outside. They run that generator.
Sustainability यहाँ दिखा के वहाँ बेचते हैं क्या?
So उसमें तो this is that what is totally automated, controlled. Even they produce some of the iceberg lettuce. And with that 4 degree temperature में चल रहा है, कितना एनर्जी यूज कर रहा होगा. But again, all those energy was coming from here.
Oh, it is?
It is coming from here. No grid supply. Then I got that idea. See, this is a kind of a complete cycle, right?
Achha, this was the starting of the idea you got?
I thought that, okay, let's get into the climate side of that and carbon credit, because that point of time it was emerging around 2020. So that's the beginning. Now, that's the beginning of what we redefining ourselves as a climate tech company, because we think it of. But again, by definition of climate tech is becoming so wide. When we get into Manoj, then we say that, Manoj, it's a serious thing. We are not a climate tech company. We are doing something different. Let's define ourselves, koi le ya na le, sustainable tech company. We define ourselves as a sustainable tech company. Right now, whenever I'm talking to anyone, be it on a VC forum or They say, is there anything as a sustainable tech company? I said, this is beginning with us. Okay. We work on the sustainability. You talk about environment, talk about the social, talk about the impact, talk about the economic benefit. And we are making out of that, money out of that only. So that's the pivots what keep on coming from a simple traceability, agri-tech company to a climate tech company to a sustainable tech company. It has come.
So 2021 when you started, उसी टाइम में आपने वो whatever story happened at you for that company you visited and that's when you felt like okay I'll put down the paper, मुझे ये सब जॉब नहीं करना है.
No. वो तो this is a what even that is there on the TV तेलुगु न्यूज़ में है. We launch a product, our TRST01Chain नहीं था, TRST01 Traceability platform launch किया था. That point of time. नहीं, 2016 में when I left my job, I started चलो पैसा बनाते हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग करके
बुके इन्वेस्टमेंट
बुटीक इन्वेस्टमेंट करके वो कुछ नहीं हुआ. उस समय ब्लॉकचेन वाज कमिंग अप इन ए बिग टाइम. तो दैट ब्लॉकचेन में वी थॉट ऑफ ये तो टेक्नोलॉजी तो मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता है बट लेकिन उसका यूज़ केस करते हैं. सो दैट्स द थिंग एंड ऑलवेज आई कीप ऑन सेइंग दैट यूज टेक्नोलॉजी टू क्रिएट ए लॉट ऑफ गुड fruitful use case that will ultimately benefit to the consumer or the farmer or the middleman or on the whole ecosystem. That was always a thought process. Agriculture में हम कैसे आ गए कि Hyderabad is a big tech agriculture focus area. My mentor Dr. Kalpana, she said seed was coming in a big challenge that point of time. Pharma suicide used to happen because of the seed, they call it not a proper seed or an untruth seed. So government come up with a circular that every seed should be getting traceable. But again, अभी तो नहीं हो रहा है because of various reasons. So we thought of getting into seed traceability first, then food traceability, then your organic food traceability. We had done a lot of use cases with a lot of startups out here. We met some छोटा पैसा.
Food traceability समझ में थोड़ा आता है. What is seed traceability? बेसिकली फार्मर जो सीड खरीदते हैं वो भी गलत जगह से भी मिलता है.
गलत जगह से मिलता है. एंड यू थिंक इट ऑफ स्पूरियस सीड्स आर द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज इन दिस कंट्री. व्हाट हैपेंड?
व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय स्पूरियस सीड्स? मतलब
इट विल नॉट जर्मिनेट, इट विल बी ओल्ड स्टॉक.
तो ये तो फार्मर को तो पता ही होता है ना, उसका काम रोज का
तो बाहर से खरीदता है ना.
हाँ, बट वो जहाँ से खरीदता है वहाँ से खरीदता है, तो वो भरोसे पे वो खरीदता होगा.
भरोसा पे भी धोखा हो सकता है. क्या होता है, सिंपल सीड का मैं बोलता हूँ. Just think it of our monsoon period is very short, right? The 3 weeks time when the monsoon begins and when you get into the peak of the monsoon, you need then that 21 days mein the proper seed to germinate. Because we are dependent on the monsoon. Think it of, if you get that fake seed or the spurious seed, then the things are not going to germinate and you are at a loss. You are gone. And by that time you take, seed is not cheap, right? 1 kg of tomato seed cost around 20 lakhs rupees.
Huh? Yes. What?
This much tomato seed. Of course, you need only
I bought them, but I bought like in grams. Now I'm connecting. अरे भाई सच में.
You just get for per hectare you require only 20 grams or 30 grams. That's all.
20 grams.
See, seeds are costly. Even for
light. They are lightweight also.
Very light.
Think about it. वो पिज़्ज़ा के ऊपर जो हम टॉपिंग करते हैं, थिंक अबाउट द वेट ऑफ दैट. और ये
थिंक अबाउट राइस.
1 kg
Rice, the good seeds comes at 600-700 rupees per kg. Okay, now you put that and that monsoon is not going to come back to you, right? वो तो गया. क्या होता है,
तो ये राबी और ये
खरीफ
जो अगर राइस नहीं जमा, मतलब मानसून नहीं हुआ, तो नेक्स्ट सीजन में तो उगा सकते हैं.
दैट एवरीवेयर यू डू द 2 क्रॉपिंग, राइट? जहाँ पर वाटर अवेलेबल है वहाँ पर 2 क्रॉप होता है,
नहीं तो
यहाँ पर 1 क्रॉप होता है. उसमें क्या होता है, अगेन फॉर द सीड कंपनी यू जस्ट थिंक इट ऑफ दिस 21 days इज ए वेरी शॉर्ट. बाय दैट टाइम उनको पूरा टोटल आर्मी डिप्लॉय करके बेचना पड़ेगा. जो बच गया क्या करेंगे,
नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए
रखते हैं. वो जर्मिनेशन होता नहीं है. इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट मैंडेटेड दैट योर सीड शुड बी ट्रेसेबल. अभी सीड कंपनी क्या बोलते हैं, आई डोंट वांट टू अडॉप्ट दैट. मेरा इन्वेंट्री का गवर्नमेंट रिस्क लेता है क्या? मेरे को तो
उनकी बात भी तो सही है, मतलब
टेक्निकली वो सही है, ये भी सही है.
हाँ,
बट अगेन लॉस में कौन है, फार्मर है, राइट? सो
ये दिवाली के फटाखे की तरह ही है, उस साल नहीं यूज़ किया, अगले साल नहीं फुस हो जाएंगे। तो
Government mandated that you should have a QR code for the seed. But again, they don't want to apply the traceability because inventory, they don't want to disclose. यही है challenge.
So do they also mix the seeds with old year's seeds to this year's seed?
That is the key reason for seed failure. They do it. तो अभी क्या होता है, यू बाय सर्टन लेवल, उसका हाई यील्डिंग सीड रहेगा, उसका सर्टन जम क्या बोलते हैं प्रोटेक्शन टेक्निक्स, सम प्रोटेक्शन रहेगा, कुछ तो होगा। वो पैकेट में क्या सीड है, हु नोस।
So who has the incentive to adopt this process in that chain? Government has incentive.
Government is pushing.
Seed companies?
Seed company, they are not adapting because the incentive is not there.
Correct.
Then they don't want you to be there.
We did our what will end up, we are just doing the तेलंगाना गवर्नमेंट का एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी का सीड ट्रेसेबिलिटी करके दे दिए। उसके
प्राइवेट में तो आप नहीं जा पाएंगे,
कोई दिया नहीं, कोई तो यूज कर लिया नहीं।
But that is where the biggest disruption could be there.
Yeah, that could be. So अभी क्या है, every seed company knows QR code बनाना है। See, if you add your name and address and you can generate a QR code, the same thing they are doing. The moment government says a QR code is mandatory, you put a QR code on your seed packet, you scan it. आपका कहाँ से प्रोड्यूस किया वो दिखाएगा, वो तो बाकी तो वैल्यू चेन दिखा नहीं रहा ना। एंड QR कोड को डुप्लीकेट करने में कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है।
So there is still a long way to come in traceability.
Long way. See, seed, food, seed, all these things say traceability. But again, regulation can drive. Right now, UDR in front of us. The robustness of that technology has made our innovation, right? We made that innovation on the technology, how to comply on that. That should be the pushing factor.
But of course, when government is pressurizing, obviously everyone has to follow the orders.
Yeah, that's the seed side. But again, let's say, talk about the rice you are exporting or the commodity you are exporting. The moment you put a traceability tag, you get a premium. That's the incentive. This side is going to be adopted in a big way. Government is trying into that.
So what you're saying is, in the whole value chain, the end producers are adopting probably, but the originators, seed companies, etc., they'll take time.
So we break into two things. One is that input provider and the output seller. The input provider, there is a bit of a reluctant, but again, when you talk about the output, there is a adoption is happening. And isme, the middle one is that package of practice, what you produce. If I can give a complete package of practice, then the whole traceability is getting established. So what we are doing right now, we are providing that from a nucleus seed to the package of practice to the harvest and post-harvest, everything we are putting into tech stack.
So the tech is ready.
Tech is
Adoption
ready.
is...
And we have showcased this thing to various I would say World Bank showcase, where I'm just discussing with the Microsoft for the technical infrastructure. So we have showcase, and this is possible.
So that's an interesting pivot also. Like, never heard about these things. 20 lakh रुपए किलो टमाटो याद रखना पहली बात।
You were talking about blockchain for a while, and then suddenly you went into agriculture, and we're talking a lot about agriculture. So you moved so many domains in this 2-hour conversation also.
It was nice learning and understanding कि आपने कहाँ से कहाँ pivot किया, and it's a very interesting space. Also good to hear, and happy for you that you are the first company and might still be the first one in India at least, which would be tracking all these things and also using the power of not the crypto but blockchain, जितना मुझे थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आया, थोड़ा बहुत, which is a good initiative, and wishing you all the best on that.
Thank you, Amit.
And yeah, it was a nice conversation. I'll probably end it up here and want to just understand आपका पूरा journey, तो समझ में ऑलमोस्ट तो आ गया। अब कभी मुझे चांस मिला तो आई वांट टू सी द बैक एंड पार्ट, आई वांट टू जॉइन विथ यू एंड बी ऑन ग्राउंड एंड ट्राई टू सी हाउ यू आर
टू आवर ऑफिस, वी आर वेरी नियर बाय।
हाँ,
वी वर्क में स्पेंड ए हाफ ए डे विथ अस।
डेफिनेटली वुड लाइक टू जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड हाउ ब्लॉकचेन इज एक्चुअली वर्कड अपॉन, कैसे ब्लॉकचेन का एक्चुअली इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। व्हेन वी कीप हियरिंग अबाउट इट ऑन द इंटरनेट, लगता है कि यार सच में कुछ कोई क्या होता है इससे। ये भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी की तरह एक फैंसी वर्ड लगता है मुझे तो।
Sustainability and blockchain don't relate it.
No, in terms of fancy and buzzwords.
मेरे दिमाग में और एक चल रहा था, जो ब्लॉकचेन का हार्डवेयर चल रहा है, is that sustainable?
No, that is another aspect. See, the initial level of blockchain, in fact, 2022 में, when we are getting into the climate and blockchain, first question is that, how sustainable is your blockchain technology? You know, Bitcoin. एक बिटकॉइन माइन करने के लिए द एनर्जी यू यूज ए सिटी का जितना एनर्जी यूज होता है, दैट्स द मोस्ट अनरिलायबल. बट अगेन राइट नाउ द पीपल कम विथ अ सस्टेनेबल ब्लॉकचेन. Another terminology has come with a low energy blockchain. So Hedera, they say that we are a green blockchain. What is the green blockchain? जितना एनर्जी हम यूज कर रहे हैं उतना कार्बन फुटप्रिंट ऑफसेट खरीद रहे हैं. Then people are
मतलब चोरी करने के बाद हम अच्छे कर्म भी कर रहे हैं तो वो माफ है. बट वो गलत बात है, बेसिकली
गलत बात है. So now people are coming with an innovative way. Okay, so these are the called conscious mechanism, place mechanism, proof of work mechanism. So they are evolving around that. But again, technology has got
its own benefits and limitations
also there. So there's a right point is that how sustainable is the sustainable blockchain?
This may be probably the biggest question you come across is how sustainable is blockchain? And
so I think I'll send you one of my article whether really we need the blockchain. See, what you are saying that to address the truth you need a layer of technology saying that okay, I am saying the truth. Why you don't say the truth? You say the truth, right?
सीधा ही सच बोल दो, इसकी प्रूफ की क्या जरूरत है?
The problem is immutability. Proving that something is immutable in the current digital world is quite hard.
Simple.
So we're relying on decentralization.
We people ask us why don't you put your blockchain out here? I say when I get the data set to the European Union server, they take this data and see that in real time these are the forested area or deforested area or non-deforested area. Why not to protect that with another energy layer, blockchain, another cost component?
Trust, I guess.
No. Is there an absence of trust right now?
I think most definitely. I mean, this is the world where AI is faking everything.
Even if there's not, you can always say we need trust, which is TRST01, and you can pitch in your own company.
The actual TRST01, how it evolved, we gave the name of ET Garage. So somehow we filed for the copyright. We got a 300-page notice from Times of India.
Oh, ET Economic Times.
Can't use the word ET. Then my friend Puru, another initial founder, he said, Prabir, what to do? Then I said, okay, trust, transparency and traceability. So that's how the TRST01. 01 is the binary. 01 name came. Trust, transparency, traceability through a so TRST01. Right now it is becoming a kind of a good branding. TRST01, people have started saying. In fact, the latest AI and ML award from T-Hub, we got that.
Nice.
Around 3 months before. We got a Forbes award recently. I just got nominated for the Aegis Graham Bell Award. I don't know what we're going to, but again, we got nominated. So,
Nice.
सही है. Good progress.
It was huge. Yeah.
Congrats.
For me, it has been a learning opportunity of what sustainable tech is, and such a niche area. I'm amazed by all the work that you have done. Really great stuff.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Congrats and wishing you all the best. I didn't know much about TRST01 when I connected with you. I thought it was something else completely, but it's a good learning. And wishing you all the best. Looking forward to catch up with you probably next year when we do the next season, and would like to see the new changes in the world of blockchain. So
World of sustainability.
yeah, sustainability.
Blockchain is just one aspect of sustainability.
Yes. So on that note, I'll end up today's podcast here, and thanks for joining us. Looking forward to catching up with you again.
Thank you Amit.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting
Thanks for joining us.
अगर आपको ये पॉडकास्ट पसंद आया है तो लाइक करना ना भूलें और टफ स्टोरी को यूट्यूब और सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर फटाफट से फॉलो और सब्सक्राइब भी कर दीजिए. ऐसी इंटरेस्टिंग और इंस्पायरिंग कंटेंट के लिए मिलते हैं हम आपसे हमारे अगले एपिसोड में. तब तक के लिए गुड बाय.